There's going to be Donnie coming to you from Asao, Japan, Pinku style podcast studio with a very special guest. One of the guys that you guys have all seen. If you've been on YouTube and you looked at the videos and everything, and you go on the right side and you get in the fucking wormhole, you've seen this guy's face at one time right here. This is Freddy English, or how should you say your real government name, or
my government name is Mike Frederick, but my alias is Freddy English.
Like that's, I mean, we've known each other for for a little bit now, so at least 5 or 6 years or more. And
yeah.
So I never asked you, man, where did Freddy English come from, man?
It is so stupid.
It's the best stories.
Started back in high school. I was on the football team, and there was like 3 or 4 Mikes on the team. So to alleviate some confusion, I just started going by Freddy because my last name is Frederick. So everyone started calling me Freddy. And then in 11th grade, I had English class, and I had a notebook, and on it I wrote my name, Freddy, and then subject was English. And my teacher walked up and looked at it and said, Freddy English. I like that. And he started calling me Freddy English, and he'd call me Mr. English, and I just stuck with it, and it's been 12 years. It's been 12 years.
It's crazy. It's crazy how some people never ask, man, like, how did that name even come about, man? Or like aliases, like mine is because another football one was my back on the forums. I was known as Big Game Hit. It was BH.
Yeah.
So people would call me Bigamy Hit. I'm like, no, it's Big Game Hit. And then dude's like, man, why do you got them? Like, because I wasn't like I don't know if you've seen a few episodes ago. I had an NFL guy on, and we were teammates and everything. When I was like, I wasn't really a student of the game. I just hit people, and I generally made like a hit that would change I would hurt somebody or change whatever. So I just my first one was like Wu-Tang 36 Chamber on AOL. And I was like, I can't really use that too much more. And Big Game Hit came about, man. But anyway, man, like, so this was, man, the last time we talked, I think it was like pretty much, man, like
ago.
It was, you got like, I think you were like changing jobs or something was going on there, or something was going on. Like you were hosting something, and then that went.
Yeah. So I was a host for CJ Pony Parts and CJ Off-Road, which is CJ Pony Parts is a company that makes, or they sell Mustang parts, and they branched off into trucks and Jeeps. And so I was working there from 2016 to 18 as like a professional video host. And I got fired from that job because we took some Jeeps off-roading. And it was my job to do this. We took some Jeeps off-road, and I hit a puddle, which was a really, really big puddle, more like a pond. And I hit it going way too fast and sucked up water into the intake and hydrolocked the motor and bent the connecting rod. And because of that, they fired me. And now I work in a factory where I make tin cans. So super uninteresting, but I promise making a tin can like your average soup can is so unbelievably complicated. You wouldn't believe it. So I work on the machines in there, so I'm still like a mechanic, but not working on cars. And I've been there for like a year and a half now, and the job sucks. Like no one wants to be a mechanic in a factory, but it pays well, and the benefits are ridiculous. So that's why I'm there. I'd rather be doing stuff like I did at CJ Pony Parts, but I would never go back to that company. The way they treat their employees,
yeah, man,
you don't want to work there.
That's the biggest thing, man. About like it's always like it's no matter the job, man. It's like it's always pluses and minuses to everything, and some people just see it like all pluses, and it's just generally not like that. I mean, like me, I run my shop, but like I got to deal with people, and like I talk about business way too much on this podcast, and I don't want to talk about my business today, man. But it's always from the outside looking in, people see like, oh man, that was cool, but like you were driving a car. Like to me, when I was seeing the videos, I'm like, man, I'm like, dude, that's like when back in the day, I would watch Best Motoring. I'm like, dude, if I can race cars all day, not knowing that 40-minute video that you see took like all day to shoot, a month to edit or whatever. And it's like you don't see behind the scenes. Like, hey, do this take again. Like, I almost died last take. And it's but yeah, man. So like with that, man, how long were you working at that spot when you were doing a TV host?
I was there from like May of 2016 till November of 2018.
You were up there for a bit, man.
And yeah, I was there like 2.5 years, and it was, if you took away management, it was the coolest job I ever had. Like, definitely a dream job, because for the most part, I just modified vehicles all day, and I wasn't spending my money. And I got to, test out all the mods. I'd go off-roading and do some cool stuff, but the way the management was there made it one of the worst jobs I ever had. Just because the way they treat their employees, and they rule by fear, and they'll tell you to your face that you're replaceable, and they're not afraid to fire you. And it's just, they didn't make it a good environment to be in, which is it's a shame, because, like you said, people on the outside, they would think it's such a cool place to work. And I'm sure with the right management, it could be, but unfortunately they made it miserable. And I still do part-time work for your good friend at Sicky Manufacturing.
James.
I still do video editing and filming for him, and I've been doing that for I think 4 years now.
Yeah.
I'm not with him full time, but on the weekends and stuff, I'll go down and film and edit for him.
And I know you know James Felix as well. It's like it's like I forget, man. You're in that area, like Brian Wilkinson and all Mid Atlantic Motorsports, all those dudes. So it's like all the guys there. Like, man, and it's like it's a small world, and it's like weird. I know you see it a lot too, man. Once it feels like, of course, a huge industry, but once you're like really inside of it and you connect with certain people, man, you're just like they're the same guys. So it's like you become like a, I guess a small melting pot or whatever. So, and here in Japan, it's the same way, man. You see the same drivers it's like the same guys go to the same events. Some guys don't drive D1. Some guys don't drive him. It's like they got little cliques and everything here. So I drive all of them, so I see everybody. And then some guys, there's just like a lot of rivals and stuff here. But
it's funny. It's funny because at the beginning you said, if anyone watches your videos, they probably have seen my face. But I feel like every time I step foot into Maryland, somebody that I come across knows you. Like you're like a celebrity around here. Anytime I meet anybody in the car scene, either from Pennsylvania or Maryland, they know you. I met a guy. I sold an ECU off my Supra, just the stock ECU. Met a guy in Baltimore, and we just got to talking. And of course, he knew you. Like I meet so many people that know you. It's crazy.
I don't know, man. Back then, like of course, the street racing was pretty big. Back during that time, when we were in the street racing, I didn't really have I had the 240 KA like NA. Then I turboed it right before I left Maryland in 2008. So the car was just starting to become like a respectable car. Before that, it was a missile way before the whole missile thing. And I drove it daily. It was a shitty car. It wasn't a missile. And we'll get into your Supra in a second, man, because everybody bug you about drifting your car, man. But man, it's I just stayed away from the drama there, man. And I was, back then, man, I was doing swaps with people, and I was just learning. I was just doing it for free because I wanted to learn. I didn't have the money, so I was doing B18 swaps and ZC swaps and all types of stuff, and just to get my hands on it and wiring and all that stuff, man. So. My name got around it, and at a certain point, I was like, all right, man, I got to work on my own cars, man, because everybody said, hey, man, he'll wire it up for you, and I became like that guy, I will wire it up because I came from computers, so I wasn't afraid of back then it was Mega Squirt was they just give you all the circuits and shit in your hand. It was no plug and play. AEM was the best option you had. And nobody could afford that back then, man. But more on you, man. So as far as start, what was your inspiration for starting your YouTube channel and everything?
So a long time ago. Now I'm basically like an OG YouTuber at
Yeah.
this
You are,
point. I've
man.
been doing it
Well,
so long.
we're about what, seven, like, what, 80,000 or 75?
75,000
Yeah.
subscribers, which I'm not the most pleased with that number for how long I've been doing this, but I started YouTube in 2011, so I've been doing this
Yeah.
9 years now. And it started out when I had a B15 Sentra
Mm,
Spec V, and I got that in 2009, and I was doing a lot of mods to it, and I was on the forums and becoming active on the forums, and I started doing a lot of write-ups, and I was getting pretty good at doing the write-ups, and someone just said, like a video would be easier to
right.
follow or more
Right.
helpful than a write-up, and I was like, yeah, I'm kind of I agree with that, and I'm going to school for
Mm,
film. Why not do it? So then that's how it started. I went to college for film, and while I was there, I took some camera equipment and started filming videos, and then bought my own equipment. That's really how it started. Basically, just someone gave me the idea that it would be more helpful than a write
yeah.
up, and then it morphed into what it is now.
Yeah. And it's just, I mean, it is true, man. Because I stopped. I was a right. That's again. You mentioned like people know write ups was what I used to do a lot. Actually, my page is still up. It's like called 240 whatever. It's on a tripod. Yeah, and it's
Hmm.
I used to do a bunch of write ups and everything on the forums, and forums are big. I would put all the stuff there. Then I took all my stuff from the forums and put them on there. Then I got the little visitor click thing on there. It's about, I think, 41,000 people or 51,000 people have like
Yeah,
used it, and it's like where it's like that's 51,000 people who found that page and used it, and now
yeah,
it's so outdated that all the text is still there, but all the images are like the little,
yeah,
they're pretty much gone because like it was Image Shack and Photo Bucket. Yeah,
yeah. Now Photo Bucket
yeah,
wants you to
yeah,
pay to
yeah,
see everything. Photo Bucket and
yeah.
Facebook killed the
Yeah,
forums.
they killed the forums, and then YouTube pretty much. YouTube. Well, it kind of, it was what, Street Fire. There was
Hmm.
uh E Bomb World, and
E-Bombs World,
there
yeah,
was
Break.
Break, and it just like killed. And like Vimeo, I think when Vimeo came out, because I know Vimeo offered HD first, right? Yeah.
Yeah, I when I think of Vimeo, I think of like artsy stuff. Like when I did stuff for
Mm,
college, I'd put it on Vimeo and not YouTube. So like at least for me, I don't think of Vimeo for like car stuff. I think of like music
yeah.
videos and short films and stuff like
I
that.
just remember Vimeo. The reason why there was such a, because I remember Will Rogue and all those guys. They would put all the bit, like the really big, like when videos started getting towards that slow motion and everything, and you
Yeah,
remember the change right there where it was just like raw, and then now it became like a
yeah,
cinematic thing. And I remember
yeah.
all the big guys like those like Will Rogue would put his videos up there, and then YouTube was I think I can't remember. I don't know. I don't want to say, maybe that's incorrect, but YouTube didn't get like full HD until like what year? Because if you look back,
Oh,
480p with 360p was like the norm.
I feel like I don't really know, but I definitely know there was a transition at some point. They even changed the way like your channel
Yeah.
looks. Like it's
They
it's not a
when they started to
complete
do the damn Facebook shit, man. When you wake up, it's like, okay, new interface, like, not nice. I didn't ask for that, but cool. Like how you
yeah.
liking the YouTube Studio thing?
I think I
Yeah,
like it.
it took a little bit for me.
Yeah.
Yeah, because
Yeah. I
I kept switching back to classic,
at,
and then
at first I liked it. At first I liked it, but then I noticed some features that the new studio didn't have that the old
yeah,
one did. And I can't remember what they were off the top of my head, but um I then started to miss the old
mm,
studio, so then I'd start switching back, and then I just got tired of hitting the
yeah,
switch
and
back
then
button,
they
so
took it away altogether.
I just gave up.
But
Yeah, I just
yeah.
gave up and
One thing,
accepted it.
I do like. I noticed if of course if you got the right pack, well, I know you know how to do it. But some guys are there who do it. They complain about the processing time, and like I upload now for these. The reason why they take like I don't, and if it's a short one by myself, I don't care about my quality. So I'll put it like 8 gigs, whatever. It's just me. But when it's like it's you,
Yeah.
I'll put it about 25 to 30 gigs. Like when I do your video, when I do just your video, it'll be about maybe I'll do it at about 15 gigs just to make sure I don't lose any quality, and I render at the highest stuff and everything. Then I pretty much overlay you onto it and sync your audio up. So. And I'll put that out, still MP4 package and everything. Make sure it's a square, whatever. And I upload, and it uploads within 30 minutes, like actually faster than that. And then it goes to processes. So I do like how I like the new end card things where you could just pretty much click on it.
Yeah.
It's more quicker. You don't have to mess with it, and then. So I do like a lot of the new features and the where you pretty much upload it and go away. And I haven't had too many since the new studio. I haven't had too many videos just stop at 99%. And I know you experienced that, man. So like, what's I guess again, man, we're both you on YouTube. I went we actually our last conversation was actually damning YouTube, to be honest. Right around the time that chick shot the whatever, and whatever she did. It was just you brought it up to my attention that you were losing subscribers and also the views, man. And I was like, for me, I wasn't really seeing it. Then I noticed, dude, I was averaging about 2,500 views per video. Now, I mean, I was struggling to break 100, and I'm like, dude.
Yeah. So I don't know the cause of anything, but I've seen the data on my channel, and there was something that happened in the September, I think, of 2017. You could see, like my average views, and then all of a sudden, in one day in 2017, all my views fell like drastically. And it almost seemed like I had a cap on how many views that I could get a week, because back then I could upload, let's just say I upload one video and it will get 2,000 views in a week. If I uploaded 2 or 3 videos in a week, I would still get the same amount of views, and I would never see a spike in my views. It was just like a flat line. I could never get it up, and to me it felt throttled. And now with the click-through rate analytic, I'm still seeing that I'm throttled, because my click-through rate for the past couple years has been the same. It's like 4.5%, but my impressions never go up. It's always the same. So it's definitely, I'm definitely being throttled.
Everybody's being, it's crazy, man.
And I've kind of stopped complaining about it now, because I've been complaining about it for like 3 or 4 years now.
I think I only seen one video. I don't know if you made multiple videos like just kind of talk about it, because it's like they do allow that. I mean, I don't, unless you put like YouTube sucks in the title, they're not gonna. I don't think they sit there and watch everything. Of course, they got the little AMG thing or where it hears music or whatever. So even me, when I make my music, some sample music I don't use because I was getting dinged for that, and it was just a sample, and I understand how that works. And and then they got the new thing they just came out with where you kind of help them help you with the you seen it. Yeah, I'm like, come on, dude. So like that first one I did, it was like I did cuss in it. I don't have any nudity, and then I put that on there and it monetized, and the next day it said limited. I'm like, dude, now I gotta deal with this shit, man. So it's like they are, the PewDiePies and all those guys, man. They're tired of making millionaires. It just seems, and they're trying to figure out any way not to pay out. And again, man, it's just obvious, man. I mean, I wasn't a powerhouse channel. I was only like until I met up with you guys and did the the toolbox thing with you and with Jim. I did the other thing. Like you guys were responsible for getting me to 5,000, and I've been kind of there for the last and I just stopped because I'm like, dude, I can't personally, because my channel wasn't that big, go out, shoot videos and then get 200 views, man. That's a lot. That's like $500 for a trip and editing. And, so it's definitely, it's like, if you're not Joe Rogan, you're just not gonna get the numbers and impressions like that, man. I don't. I guess.
Yeah, I mean, if you're doing it for the money,
Yeah.
either you better
Yeah,
not
you
do it
missed
for the money, or you
that
gotta
boat was
find.
missed. You missed that. You missed the. I mean, even like you. I mean, at least, man. You got up into like where you're at with your subscribers, and then so it seems like if you're just starting, man, unless you're already like it's kind of disheartening, man. I seen Oka-chan of Yashiro Factory. He had 20K subscribers in the first week, but he's been in the game for 30, 40 years, and he's known. So half of those subscribers are just going to subscribe just because of him. And I just personally, man, I did it. I gave stuff away. I posted up on my thing like, hey, man, I got 5,000 people on my Facebook, and maybe 200 of them subscribe. And I was like, I'd rather it be natural. I don't want to go spamming because it feels desperate and everything. So I don't really do the giveaways anymore as much as I did, and man. So that's just where I'm at with it.
Yeah, I've kind of given up on trying to grow my channel and make videos that get subscribers. Like, I'm definitely not into clickbaiting or asking for attention. So basically now at this point, I'm just doing it as a hobby, and if I get a couple dollars from it, then whatever. But the videos that I try to make resources, something that someone will search for, or something that will help someone down the road. Like, I don't make vlogs, or I try not to make like entertainment style videos. Like, everything that I try to make
informative.
I want to be informative and helpful. So like the last one I did was adjustable ball joints on my ISF. Now, that's not a video someone's going to share and be like, "Oh man, this video is so great, you got to watch it." Like no one's going to do that, but if that's something you're looking into, in 5 or 10 years, like, my video might still be getting views because someone is searching for that. So I'm trying to make resources that help people, and I think that will give me possibly passive income for longer. I guess
that's 100% true. It's it was a weird one because you'll make a video. I know you experienced it, like, man, this is going to be the one. This is going to be the one that people. And for me, it was the CRV one, because that was the first time I had a third party camera guy, and that guy had like his camera was a 8K camera. So it was just like everything was like magical looking, even though it wasn't 4K. So I'm like, I was like, I don't want 4K, just give me 1080. And even the 1080 looked amazing. And it didn't do. I'm like, we put it out there, and it was just like 200 views. I'm like, man, we did everything in one day. And then, like, a year goes by, and then bam, it just blows up. Like, somebody shared this on a CRV forum, and then like it went up from like 200 views to like 25K. And for the last 2 years, that video has been the most trending video I've had out of all my videos. That video has been the trending. So it's like, you never know what's going to. And I mean, 25K, 20K and shit, but it's like you never know which one is going to be. And then I'm pretty sure the same thing like you. If I look on YouTube, and it'll be this one guy that has like 2 million views on one video, and he has like 30 subscribers. But that video, whatever that video he made, like, it's showing somebody how to take a glass out. Everybody wants to know how to take a glass out, so they're just gonna search that video. It pops up and everything. So like you said, it's definitely, I understand it's relatable. It's just a lot of the reason I'm bringing this up, because there's always some new guys that's going to get on YouTube, and like, we're not trying to scare you off. One thing I will tell you that you told me, all those guys told me, MCMs, stay the fuck away from him, man. Like,
stay away.
It took me 2 years to get like fully broken away from GT channel, and he still sweet talks me like, hey man, like, I don't know why you want to leave, man. You're like, your stuff is trending. Like, dude, like, you're just saying the same shit. My stuff is not trending nowhere. Like, and I had to, I was, you were a GT channel too, or no?
No, so GT channel has reached out to me dozens of times, but the first time they reached out to me, I was still really new at this. This must have been late 2011 or 2012, and I got the email. And I didn't have a lawyer or anything at the time, but I was in college. And I took it to one of my professors that I really trusted, and just asked him about it and showed him the document. I'm like, what do you think of this? And he was like, I don't see how this benefits you
Yeah.
one bit. Like, I don't see it. And I'm like, yeah, like, how is this helpful to me at all? And so I said no to GT channel, and they kept trying and
Yeah.
trying and trying. And then, I think me and Jim keep trolling GT
Yeah. Well,
channel. And
Jim went through the same thing, man. Where he took him a while to get broken loose from that, correct? Like,
yeah, I
so
think so.
it's like, and the thing about it, I remember when I first got, well, for me it was like, oh man, this is cool. I always used to see their videos. I didn't experience a single nothing from that, from even, and I mean,
Yeah,
I had a little rep they assigned me, and what I would do is every time I upload a video, his job was to find the videos, and that was his job. So I was doing his job for him. So I was saying, hey man, it's a new video, and after about 15 times doing that, I just stopped. So I'm like, dude, and I'm like, and then Scott hit me up like, hey man, I noticed you're not putting videos out, because of course if I don't upload videos, he's not making money, even though the little pennies are.
yeah,
So it's like you take out guys who don't understand out there for MCM. It's like a multi-channel network or whatever it's called, MCN and whatever it's called. And not talking about Mighty Car mods, but they so it's just you. But if they combine 1 million guys, they take all like I mean they pretty much take half your revenue. And
yeah,
yeah, man. So what I did, I just stopped making videos. You notice I went away for a while. I didn't upload it, and Scott was mailing me every month like, hey man, what are you doing? Like, I'm like, dude, you guys not help me. He was like, man, but your numbers are looking the best they ever looked. I'm like, what numbers, dude? Like, what are you? That same old shit.
yeah,
Like, you could tell he copy and pasted to the, and it's changed
yeah,
my name. I'm like, dude, I just stopped, and then I actually turned off monetization. Just turned it off, and then he started mailing me more. And then I'm like, look, man, I want to get out of this. And then there was around that time when you remember it was like 2000 something where they was like, you got to click this on YouTube or your channel will be, you had to agree to do some agreement. And he used that, and that was around the same time the contract was going to be renewed. And so I clicked the yes on it because it was the way I read it was like they were going to delete all your videos. That's the way I was reading it, which I don't know if it was true or not. But I clicked yes on it and the agreement, and then I was like locked in for like another year. I'm like, dude. So then I wrote him a message. And I'm like, look, man, I'm not trying to do all this legal stuff. So I'm writing you this email right now just to say at the end of this contract, do not renew it. And if you do renew it, I'm going to use this email as proof that I told you not to do it.
yeah,
And, I was out of that. Then I talked to Jim again. He's like, dude, you still with MCM? I'm like, I don't know. So I checked in there and it still says link to a network, GT network. So I mailed Scott again. I'm like, dude, take my stuff off. Of course, he's like, hey, man, why do you want to do this? You're looking to bet the same shit, dude. The same stuff, dude. And I'm like, dude, take it off. I don't care how the analytics are looking this week. Take my thing off. And he's like, all right, cool. So I submitted it. It took like 7 days to, I can clear it. And I know you know this stuff. I'm talking more to the guys who don't know it. So it took 7 days to clear it. Then once you clear it, you're free. Then what I didn't do I wasn't monetized for almost 2 years. I didn't notice that. So I went on there
man.
because it unmonetized everything. All my videos were unmonetized. So I was noticing I wasn't making any money, like nothing. And then I wasn't making any money for the last 2 years on all those views and clicks. So guys, check your monetization. The new studio does make it a lot. That's one thing where the mass editing and the filters, that's awesome, man. Because it's like database, so you can say all the videos that got dinged for copyright, which is like 30 of my videos, or actually more than that, about 80 videos, I can't monetize because I did something on it or it has images for somebody else's stuff. So this 80 videos gone, and those ones got a lot of views. But then it just allows you to match clicks. So I do like the new studio for that.
Yeah. One thing that's really screwed me over is years ago, I reached out to a couple artists on SoundCloud and asked if I could use their audio and music and stuff in my videos. And they gave me permission. But then what happened is these artists got picked up by labels. And since the ownership changed, they came after me and they nailed like over 100 of my videos. So another tip to people who want to be YouTubers is don't use audio off of SoundCloud. Make sure it's copyright free or it's your own music, because I know you make your own music. So don't use stuff off of SoundCloud, because even if you get written permission, you can get screwed over like me if they get picked up by a label and they're going to try to get their money.
Yeah, definitely. That's I spent regarding music stuff. I spent about a week looking into stuff, and I was like, man, it's just music is a whole different animal. And what happened with me was, I made it because I'm a sample based producer for the guys out there who don't know, and so I like sampling. So, thing about sampling, there's somebody else out there that's probably gonna hear that same song, sample it a different way. And there were some artists out there who use one of the things. The SoundCloud is a cesspool for guys who want to get their music out there, and it's a great tool for people who are already in the industry who has creativity block, because they go on SoundCloud, they got the lawyers, they got the money, and I made this song roughly 4 years before this one appeared on a particular rapper's track. But it's like I hit up the company. It's like, yeah, this guy had permission, this lawyer. I'm like, it's a lose situation, man. I got over 300 something tracks. There's no way I'm gonna copyright all those just for by chance somebody picks up one of those songs or whatever, and it's still sample anyway, so it's not my material. I mean, the actual what I'm using is another artist's material to do what I got to do. So it's a tricky game. Music is cutthroat, man. But like you said, man, that's you doing stuff you're talking about was, I didn't think about lawyers or the music stuff didn't bother me too much because I just make my own. But I just noticed like some samples I can't use. But yeah, man, it's so many different. The internet is great, man. Like I said, it's great to be able to talk to you and us do this, and you're there and I'm in Japan, and but the one thing that sucks about it is theft, man. Content theft.
And there's a lot of sharks out there, man. They will get you.
Man. And just like I said, you're in are you like in Virginia or Maryland? Pennsylvania. So you're like you've always been there, or you kind of been?
Yeah, I've been here my whole life. So I'm about, without traffic, I'm a 45-minute drive from the Inner Harbor in Baltimore.
What part?
And
because you're near the reason why PA guys would know us is we used to go down to the South Philly and race down there by the Hess gas station. Pretty sure you know where that's at.
Yeah.
And we used to race down there, man, and like you would just meet guys, and we go from there to like near the airport. It was 2 spots, I believe, and it was like a car dealership or something like there. We race behind there, and then we go from there to the Hess.
I know you said that James Felix was kind of like a mentor to you. Did you grow up with him, or did you just meet him because of cars?
Man, shit, by the time I met James, he was already an old man. So he's like, I'm trying to. He's definitely gonna, after he sees you, it's gonna make. I've been trying to get him on there since episode 10, man. But he opened up his shop and everything. James I met in 2000. I want to say it was 2004 or 5. 2003. I don't know if you may or may not know Quinn. He's a Centra guy as well, and I'm not sure. He had the what's the B15 is the box one or the box
B15. B. If you're talking about an SER, like if he had a boxy one, it was probably a B13.
Okay. So he had the B13, and he had a SR20. He had a V SR20V in here, so it was very fast. Yeah. And Quinn was I think Quinn and James either went to high school together, or they grew they grew up in the same when they were street racing together. Because Quinn is a little bit older. They're the same age. Because James looks young, but he's like 40 something. So it's like James been in it. So when I met him, like this dude's like 20. What is like? Nah, dude, that dude's like 30 something already. So he was already a man when we were still like coming about. Yeah. Well, actually, I take that back. I was the youngest in my group roughly, because all my guys, luckily I was around older guys. So we met, man, and like it was before I met James, it was like you do things or whatever. But when I met him, man, and see how he worked, and like just for example how I was working last night till 1 a.m, I seen him do that stuff, man, and like very meticulous. And that's why meeting James was like the turning point of like don't do like crappy shit, man. Like, cause he,
Yeah.
you know, I mean, he'd be under there for 30 minutes, like high with brake cleaner, no lift, like doing, you know,
Yeah.
I've seen this guy do a lot of stuff, man. And I was like, man, and I was just like mesmerized by it. And now I'm doing the same stuff, man. And I hit him up, ran him like, hey, man, you know, thanks for the. He could have been like, oh, fuck off, man, because James, I don't know, like in which, you know, when did you meet James, or like when did you go to a shop or something? Like
I've only known him for, I think, 2 years, and I met him because my friend Tony years ago had an '04 STI and needed a clutch replaced in it, and he met James on Naziok. And James was like, "Hey, come on down, and I'll do your clutch in like 2 hours."
No shit.
And Tony's like, "No, get the hell out of here!" And he went down and like in no time,
probably
he did a clutch in his car,
too, right? Probably, yeah, dude.
Yeah, on the ground.
He's Subarus, man. Like the one make stuff like at my shop, I preach that because I preach that I don't do that because in Japan you have like, you know, the GTR shop, the RX-7 shop. So that's what the guys who do RX-7s and specialty shops, they get that from Japan. But it's a gamble to do all one make. But then if it goes well, then it's like awesome because everybody's like, dude, there's no take it to James. It's just like you already know it's there. He become like the Subaru whisperer and stuff like that. So now the GTR is like, for people, you know, about my shop, they know that, but I'm like, dude, I'm not scared to work on other stuff. I work on all the other stuff like that because my thing is, you can do it, but it's risky if it doesn't work. And, it's better to, everybody drives different stuff. But what I was saying about James, man, he's a hothead, dude. Like he gets dude, he could be like the nicest dude, but as soon as you do something he doesn't like, or like I've seen him blow up on people and tell him to get the fuck out of the shop, never come back, and like because he's one of those dudes where he's really helpful. And back when I met him, I was like, dude, like I was like, you helping these guys too much, man, because they would come in and do turbo swaps, and it became like his shop. Where he was working at, it wasn't his shop. He was working at a shop in Dundalk or White Marsh, and the guys are coming there, and even while I was in the middle of it, I was one of the people bugging them and coming there. I'm like, man, if this was my shop, I wouldn't want people to just hang out, and that's the way I run my shop. Yeah, you drop your car off, we talk, you leave. I don't do that, man, because it becomes that let's go and hang out, and I'm like, nah, dude, not here, can't do that here.
All right, well This is how helpful this guy is. So when I met him, I was working on my Legacy GT, which I hate that car so much, and I'm so glad it's gone. But I was doing head gaskets, and I think I was having trouble with something with the cams or like the valve clearance or something. I don't remember what. But Tony was like, hey, I'm friends with this Subaru Master Tech guy, James. You want me to see if he'll come up and help you? And I was like, I don't see why he would come up and help me, but sure. And he did. He came up and he worked on my engine with me, and I think he came up twice to help me with that project.
Did you record it at all?
And
okay.
No. But that's how I met him, and then I guess just became friends that way. And
yeah, he's worked at Andrew Tech. He's worked at like, I mean, he downplays like his skills, and you know he's been around, man. Like, I mean, there's RS, there's was GC8 here, but it's RS 2.5 or whatever he had. That thing is like badass, and like he's all like the thing about it'll be badass. He's like, not enough. Take it back apart. Like, dude, like it's
he is the complete opposite of what Poor Man Mods is for sure.
But I mean, well, complete opposite in your eyesight, man. But he would have like this STI, his GD, it was a GDB, and GDA or GDB, and it was nice, man. But then he would prefer his Civic, his GSR swap Civic over that, because it was just like, so Subaru would sit over there, but he really wouldn't take it out too much because it was more autocross back then, more so than drag, and we would swap for the Civic, man. And then like, I mean, I remember one night we blew the it's one of my video, my Team Renard video. I'm not sure if you even had a chance to ever see that, but a lot of history is there. James is all in there. It's the Team Minar Midnight. The Survival of the Midnight was the first DVD we made, and I edited all that. And there was pretty much 4 years worth of footage that I condensed down into 1 hour. So I came right.
Wow.
My first editing was editing a full featured DVD, and then then I was like, all right, let me do a YouTube and everything. And that's how I kind of got into YouTube. And then back then, YouTube, one thing I was pissed about was the computer I edited on. The hard drives are long gone somewhere, and then when I put it out, I had to compress it down to 4 gigs.
Yeah.
So if I had those hard drives, I can actually output that because the quality wasn't as bad, but it's shrinking it down, and it's you can't unpackage that and everything. So it is what it is. But the James, man, if you got spare time, recommend checking that out. And he's all in there, and it pretty much was a collaboration between my team at the time called Team Minar Midnight Riders, and they were fuck with their name, man. They had a little group or whatever, Flex Speed. So Flex Speed was a car team. And the Flex Speed was out of Dundalk. Nick Plackey was the owner, the president. And it was like a bunch of little car teams. And around that time, that was like when I know you remember this, when the car DVD thing was dying off, and Street Fire was coming about and everything. So it was, and then Tacademics, like Dido and all those guys were like the King Supreme and everything, and they just went away. But it's crazy, man, to see we've been in this scene long enough to the thing, what sucks is we never met each other when I was there. So it's like we never crossed paths. We probably did cross paths, but probably with the same events, maybe Ocean City or something like that, or
Yeah.
So it must happen, man. So so all of that, man. How did you we talked about the YouTube stuff? Like, what got you into cars? Like, what was that? What happened there? Where'd your life?
I think I've always just been a gearhead. One thing that really stands out to me for my passion of cars, like I remember, 13, 14, 15 years old, like I was dying to get my learner's permit. Like I know some of my friends didn't really care to drive, but I felt like at the age of 14, 15, like I wanted to drive so bad. Like it was just like an inner addiction I had to something I didn't even do yet. But it felt like 14 and 15, it felt like I was on my stomach, like army crawling to 16 years old to get my learner's permit. And what kind of got me started turning wrenches was when I was, I think 12 or 13, I had a pocket bike, like a mini motorcycle. It was a 49cc crotch rocket. And I don't know how I did it, but like 12, 13 years old, I started modifying that thing, like putting a bigger carb on it, changing out the exhaust, changing the sprockets. I think I put nitrous on it. Like I did everything to that bike. And I even tried rebuilding the engine at some point, and that's where I met my limit. And I didn't know what a piston ring compressor was.
So smash it in there.
And smashed it with a screwdriver and completely destroyed it, and that was the end of that. And so that's what got me started turning wrenches. And then when I was like 16 and a half, I got my first car, which was a 92 Camaro. And that thing was such a pile of crap and so unreliable, it forced me to turn wrenches even more. I was constantly fixing it. And I didn't want to fix it, but it got me, I guess, more educated or more skilled with just working on cars. And then it just kept evolving. Like I just kept working on that Camaro, and then I traded it for my Sentra Spec V. And when I got that Spec V, that's what skyrocketed me into, I guess, modification, because then I just started modifying everything. It wasn't me fixing anything, because the car was perfectly fine. It was me modifying, and then, I ended up putting a turbo on it. And unfortunately, I turboed that car before Poor Man Mod, so that was never documented. But
what happened? What happened?
Put a turbo kit on that. Oh man, it's such a sad story. So I had that car for 5 or 6 years, and it's been on a couple of videos early in Poor Man Mods, and it was a really nice car, 300 wheel horsepower for a little Sentra. And I sold it with 100,000 miles. There was nothing wrong with the car. I was running 8 pounds of boost. It was tuned really well. It was my daily driver. It was a perfectly fine car. I sold it to a kid, and I said, hey, man, do not turn up the boost. 8 pounds is like the limit for this engine. Just keep it where it is. Do not adjust the boost. If you have any problems with the car or need any help or anything, I know this car better than probably anybody. Hit me up, all right? And he was like, all right, I got you.
That means fuck off.
Yes. And he did not listen to me. He turned up the boost, blew the motor, and I guess tried to go back to stock because the car ended up in a junkyard, and I saw pictures of it. So what I think happened was, I think he tried to turn it back to stock, but it had the upgraded fuel injectors in it, and it had the tune by UpRev on the ECU, which JE Import Performance is the only place that can tune that ECU because they have the code for the UpRev. No one else can do it. I know he didn't take that car down there, so I think he tried to put it back to stock and take the turbo off, and then realized it ran like shit without a turbo and upgraded injectors and all that stuff. And then I guess he scrapped it, and it ended up in a local junkyard. And my friend found it because he was walking through the junkyard and saw the car and was like, no freaking way. Walked up to it, and it still had every upgrade that I ever did to it. But when he took the picture of the engine, it was a stock engine with the stock manifold and cat and no turbo. And I guess he tried to return it to stock, gave up, and scrapped it.
What color was it?
It was all black. Black on black. It looked like a drug dealer car for sure.
Was it a 5-speed or 6-speed?
6-speed.
Right. Yeah, I remember when because that car was like that car, because of course the 240s are around, but when the SCR, it was SCR, correct? Yeah.
Yeah, SCR.
When that came up, because I had one in my group, man, and I mean, outside of being front wheel drive, I just remember, man, it was quick, man. Even stock, man, and it was that car was a little out of the range. Like it cost a little bit more than a Civic, I believe. Yeah. So it was, and then of course, and then Need for Speed came out, and it was one of the cars in there, and it just. I remember driving in it, and then that time was when of course VTEC was VTEC, but then they had the variable cam timing as well, right?
It had variable valve timing or cam timing, but it also had, which was really cool. I know more cars have it, but what made it really cool in this car was it had secondary intake runners. So when you hit 5,000 RPMs, the secondary intake runners would open up. And it kind of sounded like you were hitting VTEC because it got like a deeper tone to it. And so when you put a cold air intake on those cars, it's a huge, it's just huge sound improvement. You hit the gas like sheet, make that noise. Yeah. I remember that because I had like I say, I was around a bunch of them, man. It was like I kind of lost it after the car. Then I got into drifting, and I was like, I don't want. Yeah. The earlier models of those Spec Vs, the screws for the butterfly valves. For the secondary valves, they would come off. And so you'd inhale a screw and go through your motor, and you would take your intake manifold off to put some Loctite on there and find out you're missing 2 or 3 screws. Yeah, man. It's no good. Yeah, so it was, it was a lot of different cars at that time that I was into and I wanted. But, for me, I just went with the 240, and then I got because for me, I seen Initial D. Then I was like, I want to drift, and I got the S13, and I wasn't really picky about it. So I wanted the coupe, but the coupes were still at that time a little bit more expensive. They were holding their value, but nobody wanted the hatchbacks or the fastbacks or whatever. So I got mine. That's interesting.
I got mine for about $1,000 in 2004, and even for the condition that was in, that same car that I got today would be about 35. With the tax and everything, because it was relatively clean until the strut tower was separated. But the man, it's just crazy. Like you see that car, and then you see it there. People, you tell them not to do something, they do it anyway, and it's like I've sold a lot of cars since I opened my shop, regrettably, because I had to keep the doors open, and so when it goes away, I can't look at it go away, man. I don't like selling I don't like the act of selling like my cars, man. So
let me ask you something. I know when I got my IS 300 years ago, I think the first thing you asked me was, "What are you, a hairdresser?" So you kind of poked fun at me for getting an IS 300. But what are your thoughts on my ISF?
ISF, man. ISF is a well. Number one, I like they look good, and they like that ISF. What kind of transmission does it have?
It's got an 8-speed auto. I'm not sure what the code of the transmission is, but it's an 8-speed auto.
But ISF, man, I do like them. I mean, I don't have anything against ISFs, and they look good. Only thing is just like the newer cars, man. They just, I mean, I know you work around it and you get around it and everything, but the newer cars, man, are like, I mean, they're just totally designed to not work on them, and the covers, the part availability, some I never worked on ISF or seen one, but I'm pretty sure they probably got like some proprietary screws and stuff that engine, you could take the engine out, but like if you want to take the ABS computer out, it's like screwed out with some stupid triangle bolt, or you just got to cut it off, or like some crazy torque bit or whatever that's special or whatever. So the new cars, man, I don't have anything against like the Supra. Everybody's like, they're taking up in arms. Even MCR's owner the other day, like, because we were on Toyotas, he's like, oh, the Supra just totally sucks. But he's saying it because he wants people to buy more GTRs because he's a GTR shop. So it's like, dude, like that car shouldn't make you lose sleep. If it looks like a BMW, so what? Like, do you want it or you don't? Like, I can't afford it. I mean, collectively, I can afford it if I save the money, but I'm not gonna. I don't have a need. I don't want it.
Yeah,
it's just not. It looked cool, and then everybody was like, rapping on like the stock one, but like you say with yours, man, you lower it, you put some wheels on it, totally changes the look of it and everything, man. So I like them, man. They're definitely not a woman's car, and the IS 300 are the cool. Because they're manual and they got the beams engine that everybody takes out of them, but they just don't. One thing I kind of kept me away from it was I remember Taniguchi was saying they didn't drift well, and because the base or whatever it's like it's not it's long but it's short. It's not. It's like right in the middle. It's like a Miata. Yeah, it's like right there. It's weird, man. So, and yours is manual automatic. The IS.
My the IS 300 is a 5-speed manual.
Yeah, so you got the J160 or J160, I believe, the transmission. But the man, I got way too many cars, and I just kind of I don't like having one car, man. It's just like that. So like speaking on me for like that, because we definitely can't do this podcast, so I'll talk about the Superman. Like what how did you get into the Super? How did you like, man, I know I've followed you. I know the story, man, but for the guys out there, like they've seen the Super a lot, how did you come about that one?
Well, I'm kind of a person that likes to go against the grain. Like I don't like to do what everybody else does. And everybody over here has a 240. All my friends, I shouldn't say all my friends, but a lot of the people that I know had 240s. My brother has a 240, and I wanted to get a rear-wheel drive cheap sports car to maybe drift. And I say maybe drift because obviously I haven't drifted it yet. Yeah, that
thing's been like this is the longest drift build. For those out there who don't know, man, this for the people who follow Freddy's channel. Like, do you like every comment is you could be talking about like whatever. Like you're in YouTube, like your YouTube hate video, and you're like, "Hey, so when you gonna drift your car, dude?" Like it doesn't matter what the video is, but in the comments, someone's gonna ask you, dude. So when you gonna drift the Superman? Like,
so basically, at the time, this was 2012, I think. I started to look into rear-wheel drive cars, and everybody was hating on the Mark III Supra. And I was like, cool, that's what I'm going to get if everyone hates it pretty much. It's some guys make them really
Yeah.
good looking, but in stock form,
Yeah.
they're
Yeah,
not a good
exactly.
looking
Yeah.
car. They're ugly, and the 7M is it's gonna hurt some
Yeah.
feelings, but the 7M is
It goes
trash.
get. Yeah.
So I found one for $500. Well, actually, he listed it on Craigslist for 750
Mm.
bucks or an AR-15. And I said, "Hey, I have $500 and a Mosin Nagant World War II rifle. Want to trade?" And he said, "Yeah." So I gave
Holy
him five.
shit,
I
man.
gave him 500. I gave him $500 and a rifle,
Yeah.
and it came without an engine, and it sat next to a goat for like 12
Mm.
years and smelled like shit. But I, for some reason, I just like doing things that people don't like. Like the Camaro that I had, the third gen
Mm.
Camaro. That's like everyone's least favorite Camaro, and I love that car. And I love the R33 Skyline, and everyone hates the
Yeah.
R33 Skyline. I just, for some reason, I like the bastard childs
Yeah.
for some reason. So, but I bought the car without an engine, and I knew the 7M was junk, and I knew I didn't want to go that route. So I went with the 1JZ because I couldn't afford the
Mm.
2JZ.
And you got and did you get a because I can't remember if you got the did you get a clip, or did you just buy the engine separately and stuff like that?
So I guess I got pretty lucky. Like the cost of these engines
Oh
has
yeah,
gone way
way
up.
up.
Um, so I ordered. It was just on eBay. It was just a 1JZ with an automatic transmission and a slightly cut engine
Mm.
harness. It was all the way cut. But I got the 1JZ non VVTi with the automatic transmission and an engine harness shipped to my house for
Mm.
$1,300. So now if you try to find them, you can't touch them for like 1,700-1,800 bucks. I think now, like, they've gone pretty far up. So I didn't do a clip. I just got the engine and transmission and harness, and then because I didn't do a clip, I had to do a whole lot of wiring with that harness and had to find an ECU and had to find everything, and it took me like a year just to get it to where I could turn the car on.
So
But
I'm gonna shoot. I'm gonna send you a link to a video that is gonna make you hate me, man. Because we found a again, like my team video. As a lot, we had there was a engine dealer down in it was like southeast Baltimore and near East Point. And we went there. We bought like a lot of Honda engines, and there was a JZA 70, like a full. It was a type JZA 70 Type R, full front clip in there, and it was there. I mean,
yeah,
it was there for a while. So when I worked at a shop, and I'll send you a link to the video so you can watch. We actually I swapped the engine in. I did all the wiring, and this guy just took all the fucking credit, man, all the credit. And he was going around town and everything, and so it was, of course, his MA70 was a really nice one. He had like the hammers on. He was like an old school cat, like kind of likes to look good. So it was shiny, and I told him about this front clip. So he went down there and he had money, so we bought it on the spot. I'm like, that easy. So we bought the front clip. The guy delivered it, and then actually we put it on a truck. We took it over there and everything, and then pretty much because we had the whole front clip, it was like everything was there. All of the ECU, everything was uncut, so everything was there. There was a few things I had to figure out, and then a harness I had to cut the harness, and I had to extend the harness by 12 inches to get it to go on the other side.
Yeah.
So I did all that stuff, man. I did all that inside of a week. From the 7M to the 1J, like turnkey start and everything. And then the part of that deal when I worked in that shop was to get time to work on my car, but the dude like kind of used me, and I was a little younger. And then I was like, yeah, screw this, man. I'm getting out of here. But anyway, the dude went around town. It was pretty quick, man, because like nobody else had 1Js weren't like they are today. They weren't around. Even though that car was heavy, it was still pretty quick, man. So twin turbo, and you take it to the car meets and everybody go crazy.
Yeah.
This was back again. This was like 2000, like 2002, 2003, when nobody had 1Js. Like that was like Mecca. And James was the only guy. There was one S14. It wasn't James, but it was a black guy driving the S14 at RB26. It was the first RB26 swap in Maryland. and at that time I believe, and he was killing everybody and stuff like that. So it was, this is crazy where we're at now, where you go, you can get this engine. Like I tell everybody, you can get an LS, you can go in at this, and you just go in and drop down. I want this, I want this, I want this, and it just comes all in one. It's like this turn. It's not hard. So that's what it makes swaps. Swaps are not. I mean, I'm doing a 1JZ and a cappuccino. I'm making everything. So that's an impressive factor. But like, it's not really impressive anymore to do a 1J 2J swap. It's like, okay, cool. You got a bolting kit and a wire harness and wiring specialties. Good job, man.
Yeah, I mean, speaking of LS, I mean, me working for Sicky now, they make swap kits for so many different cars now. Now you have to have the money for it, but 10 years ago, swapping an LS into just like a BMW, that was crazy. And now it's like you said, drop down menu, and bam, you could have an E36 with an LS3
it's like building
in it,
a PC, man. And the thing about it, guys out there, man, because being a business guy and now understanding from the outside looking in, it's like, oh man, that's 10 grand. It's like, dude, trust me, like you said, it took you a year to get your thing running, dude. Like that takes from a year to, like I say, us in a week getting that running, because we had everything there, the mounts, everything we needed, everything was there. The whole for guys that don't know, a front half cut is them cutting the car off. You have the front half of the car, headlights. So we also had the Type R tail lights. They had those. They was inside the thing. So we swapped the tail lights out. The fuel pump was still in there, so we swapped the fuel pump. So it was just like magic. Everything that you can need, and actually you start it up. You can start the front clip up and everything. Yeah. So it was there.
Do you have any idea how much that cost back then?
I think he got the whole thing for $3,000. The whole front clip, $3,000, and that included the transportation. Yeah,
that's worth it.
It's set in the corner. It wasn't like, again, you'll see the video. I'm gonna link you, man. You gotta watch it, because on the video again, I link. We put the what was it? We put the you got, man. I edited and I can't remember it, but it was in another part of the video, and then I linked back and then I put like a question mark, like alluding to the car that we shot 2 years prior. And then when I met up, the video was shot between 2002 and 2004. So it was 4 years or 3 years worth of footage that we just clamped. So a lot of things happened before the other things and everything, and it went back together. Some people who was in the DVD weren't even friends with by the time it came out. And it was like, but yeah, man, it's just crazy like that, in the industry where it's it's a nice thing, but then it just, like yourself, you that pain you went through of getting everything to get to do it. The younger guys, when they complain, I'm pretty sure it's the same way for you, man. When they complain, like, dude, you're complaining about what? Like, you got everything there. It's.
But here's another thing. So that whole year it took me to build that car, at least to get it driving. Every single thing I had to do, it was a challenge, and everything was, because I was so young, everything was a learning experience. So it really did help me grow as, a mechanic or a car builder, whatever you want to say. That was probably one of the biggest learning experiences I had in the car world, was having to figure all this crap out. Like if you had a whole swap kit in front of you, sure, you got to turn the wrenches to make it all happen, but there's not as much to figure out. It is a lot easier. So building it the way I did, or someone else might, it might take a year or two, but you're still going to benefit from it too. You're going to learn a lot.
Yeah,
so
you're definitely gonna learn more than the guy that this is a swap kit. And again, we're not. I know you're not doing it. I just got, for you guys. Oh man, you guys are talking shit about that. I mean, honestly, my comment section is like, unless I get a certain personal here, there's no comments, so that's not gonna probably happen anyway. But we're not down on the guys that do swap kits. I mean, honestly, I'm a shop and I can make a lot of stuff, but I opt to actually buy a mount. Like if it's a mount kit for a customer, I'm like, I can make the mounts, but like, dude, why? You can go on eBay now and get S13 to 1JZ mounts for like $100 or less. It's just Alibaba's making them. Everybody's copying them. So it's like, it's the same. You get a whole swap. I can get a kit I got RX-7 outside, which I'm going to put a 1J in. I can make the stuff, but I'm like, dude, why when I could pay $200 for this RX-7 1GG swap kit? I mean, the mount kit itself, and then for the wiring, you know, what I mean, I do my own wiring for the most part, but there's times when I'm like, I can do the wiring, or I can just, you know, if the time is going to take me to do it. Like for the cappuccino, I can make the standalone harness. I have it, but I just the act of making it, I can just get the thing from. I'm a dealer for wiring specialty, so I get a little deal on it, and just get with Yuri and get the pro harness that just power ground start because I'm already putting a 1G into a damn cappuccino, dude. I got my work cut out for me. So that's just one last thing I have to worry about and get it rolling. So it's you know, it's a double-edged sword. It's good and bad, but at the same time, for a shop, I do make stuff because I need to show people that I can make stuff. And that's what the cappuccinos. That's the Subaru kind of served that purpose. I got Subaru customers. The cappuccino is just like because I fucking can. That's it. That's all it is. Yeah. There's nothing more, nothing less. And when I show and the guys come to my shop, they see all these cars, right? They're like, hey man, can you do clutches here? I'm like, yeah, I think I can manage. You know, it's like really, dude. Like you don't see that car over there. Like, yeah, I think I did more than the clutch to it. So it's crazy, man. But before, I mean, like where you're at right now in the factory and stuff like that, man. Like, is there any? I mean, again, you said the benefits are good, and again, you know, with the whole Corona stuff going on, how is all that stuff going for you? And also, is there any? Are you looking to stay there for 2 more years or 3 more years, or what's up with that?
So, fortunately, I'm considered an essential employee because the cans that we make are for the food industry. So I haven't been shut down because of the coronavirus. But we do have to wear masks and everything like that now. So I haven't really been affected that much over there.
You gotta put the mask on, man.
Oh yeah. I got a good mask somewhere, but I can't.
This is a ramen joint. It's the same flag that's up here on my wall. You can't really see it on this one, but yeah, like I can't wear a regular mask. So everybody's doing the stylist. But go ahead, what you're saying, man?
So, like I said, the benefits are really good. The pay is good. It's the highest paying job I've ever had. I did graduate from college 5 years ago with a degree in film and video editing and stuff like that. And I know I make more than most people I graduated with. For whatever reason, in this area, that industry doesn't pay shit. I interviewed at a local news station to be a cameraman, and they only wanted to pay like $11 an hour. And I'm like, no. No. So, I mean, I don't want to make cans for the rest of my life, but if it pays, it pays. Like if I can find something better, then I'll go to it. Like I still work for Sicky part-time. If I could work for James down there full-time and make the money I wanted to, I would go work for him full-time, but I know that's not going to happen.
He's I mean, for guys that don't know, the JE, like they spent, man, it was a blur because, Dan Savage and those guys, they spent maybe 5 or 6 seasons as a Formula Drift, and that really will zap your Yeah. I think I want to say maybe it was only 2 or 3 seasons in Formula Drift. Yeah. And you're right, man. It was so taxing on them. Now, I don't know his finances, but last year, I'm pretty sure it was last year, James sold his Formula Drift car. Like, they don't have it. They don't have it anymore. But like I said, if I could work for Sicky full-time, I would, but the money's just not there for me. And James Felix, he wanted to work with me too for videos, but and I'd love to work for him, but the money is just not there. Like I gotta do what's best for me. So if I could find something better, of course I'll take something better. I don't want to make cans for the rest of my life. If I could have my own shop like what you're doing, I would totally do that. But at my point in my life, I don't see that happening. So I'm going to be making cans for the foreseeable future until something better comes along. Man, that's the thing about it, man. Like you say, the benefits you're getting paid. So
the biggest thing the thing that makes it the hardest to leave that place is we have free health care. Everything is paid for, life, health, vision, and dental. There's no monthly payment at all for that, and we get 401k and a pension. So
Yeah, that's a
if
good
that's like
yeah,
unheard of.
that's the polar opposite management from your last place. Yeah, man.
Yeah,
That's well, and it's what
yeah.
how many what's their what is I'm trying to ask, man? How many employees do they have under that company?
Well, the plant that I work at is probably 40 or 50 employees, but the company as a whole is an
Oh,
international
so they got
company. They have,
multiple.
yeah, the company I work for is, you may have heard of them. I think they're in Baltimore. Crown Cork and
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Seal
yeah.
is, so they're like it's a huge corporation. So they have plants all over the place. They employ thousands or
Mhm.
millions for all I know, but my plant itself, 40 or 50 people.
Yeah, so that's definitely, man. You're working for you're it's like you're working for that's a corporation. Corporation like there's
Yeah,
business, but when you
yeah,
label yourself a corporation, that's a different higher. That's a different level. So they're like
yeah,
they probably like trading on the stock markets probably. Yeah. So
yes.
when
Yeah, what yeah,
yeah yeah
one of one of the benefits that we get is we can buy stock in the
yeah that you work
company
for.
at a fit at a 15% discount.
Nice.
So you can make money just doing
Yeah.
that.
That's what a lot of people should like this because I the whole stimulus crap going around or whatever. I didn't get because I didn't
Yeah.
follow. Actually, I haven't followed since 2015, and it will be zero anyway. So I just need to follow them all just to get them on because I'm pretty sure they'll come after me soon. Or if I get anything, my VA I get paid by the VA. I still get US every month. Well,
Okay.
just for VA because I'm a disabled vet and everything. Well, I hate to say disabled. It's just that's what they call it. So I get 80%. So I
Yeah.
get roughly 20. Like I don't want to say exactly how much or whatever per month. It's like $2,000 or whatever. But I get that and but it's non-taxable, so they can't garnish that or whatever. But
Yeah.
if I was to get like that, if I even got the what is it the stimulus, actually I wouldn't get it because I didn't follow 18 and 19. So I
Yeah.
don't get that. And Japan's giving away $3,000, but I won't get that either because I'm just not going through that bullshit to get it. It's more.
Yeah.
It would take me more time for them just to say no, and I can't take away from my shop. So it's like whatever, man.
Yeah.
I'm not balling, as people would say, but things are okay. I mean, I got customers. So
Yeah.
as long as my bills keep paid, I'm not in a surplus mode yet. So everybody out there who watch this and they see the shop and see the cars, they just think you got millions in the bank. Like, I'm only 4 years in, man. It takes about 8 to 10 years to get to making profits. If you make it to that point,
Yeah.
then you earned it. Most businesses don't make it, more than 2 years. So I'm happy to be here 4 years. It's definitely a, the reason I'm up, last night at 1 and 2 in the morning. And honestly,
Yeah.
what I charged a customer, and I told them in an email, don't, because I was like, this is my last promotional build. I've been way under. I get paid okay, but I've been way kind of
Yeah.
under. I've been undercutting the other shops, to be
Yeah.
honest. And the thing is, my
Yeah.
name is getting a little bit bigger. So now what will happen? I can get in trouble for that in Japan. Japan, you can't do that. You can't.
Oh.
You can't open a shop across the street from me, and if I'm a transmission shop and you're charging $500 to do whatever, you can't open a shop and do $300 because they'll call the cops and everything. It's real. So like cell phones, everything
Oh,
has
wow.
to be, the gentleman's agreement is real. So everything has to be 280 horsepower. Everything has to be, yeah. That's a real thing. Yeah, that's
Huh.
why that gentleman's agreement is a prime example of what Japan is. Where the Supra, the Skyline, they all had to be 280 when they were all it was more than 280 horsepower, but they
Oh,
had to
yeah. Yeah.
advertise 280 because Toyota couldn't be seen as like dominant over Nissan and blah blah blah. So that whole gentleman's agreement
Yeah.
is pretty much how the Japan economy it works. And also, if you see the whole stuff going on, right? Because I'm here, but my business doesn't stop one day. I make my own hours and whatever. This is exposing how the Japanese really are. Like they said, the shutdown, they haven't shut anything down yet. And they gave the guys a volunteer. You can voluntarily not show up at work, and then guess what's going to happen to you? You get fired. So
Yeah.
the Japanese do not care about your well-being. They don't care about your life. All they care about is numbers, and that's from the top down. Doesn't matter.
Well, I mean, I've never stepped foot in any
Yeah.
Asian country, but I feel like, is it fair or correct to say that maybe Japanese culture isn't as afraid of a virus as like America? Like, isn't there more?
They're not. I mean, Japan is Japan. I don't like the rink. I don't like the ranking, but I will talk by it. And I mean, I've been living here for a long amount of time. I've known good buddies who've been in China, Vietnam, all these other places. I mean, if you're gonna rank the Asian culture based on like their organization, Japan is number one, dude. I mean, it's not because I live here, but it's just like, I mean, the country is a beautiful country, safe country. I got all these assets here with a few, cameras and everything. Nothing gets bothered up here. There are a lot of guys just coming over here, but Japan is definitely, they're definitely the hierarchy of the Asian culture. Honestly, from the business aspect, the architecture aspect, the infrastructure aspect, they're up there. I mean, you can't compare Laos to Japan. It's just not. They're not the same. Vietnam is not Japan.
Yeah.
So in China, China got the stuff China has going on with the lies and the Japan hides stuff, but they don't lie. They don't they don't have people living on top of each other. They don't have that issue. Korea, South Korea is cool, but North Korea has their issues. So Japan, out of all of the countries, is the only one that's like progressive, and even in that, man, it's still like if you come here, dude, like you'll see like glitzy glamour stuff, and then across the street at rice paddy field, it's like they still maintain. If you look this way, it looks like some Edo movie you're watching. It looks like some samurai movie. But then you look across the street, and there's like pachinko parlors and gambling places and everything. So it's like it's just cities plopped in, but it's up and down. It looks the same, but until you get into like Tokyo or big city, but there's the same design. I mean, you can spin yourself around and you're like, okay, I don't know where I'm at. It all looks the same from top to bottom, man. So it's so you don't see the Tokyo drift and all that stuff. You can see that at events, but like it ain't like that, man. Like you'll see around the bases, you'll see more cars because naturally all the guys got Skylines. But when you go away from the bases, you don't see sports cars at all.
So you still live on base?
No.
You're not off base?
I haven't been. Well, I've been. I got out of the military in 2012. I haven't lived on base since 2000 like 2010, because at that point I ranked up and I could live off base. I was a single staff sergeant. Okay. But no, man, I live near base, but I'm not associated with the military at all, man. That's
because I remember. I think I mailed you a GoPro. Did I send you a GoPro because when I sent that to you and the shipping was only like $2 and I'm like, because how?
Sorry about that. Yeah. I still have the I got the actually I recently got my ID, so I can go on base now. I've been on base for 4 years, so now I can go on base. There's like, because they have on base, man. It's pretty like it's like America. So it's like a Walmart. We have a Walmart on base. It's called BX. So it's just like it has everything except for guns. So like I mean I can go on base and get Captain Crunch or whatever I want to get right now. So like the commissary, only thing sucks about it is the meat. The meats are flown over, so they're flash frozen. And you know all about how that stuff works. So some of the stuff by the time it gets here in the air and all that stuff flying, it's fresh, but you can tell it's not. The tasty cakes are stale by the time they get here. So the butterscotch crimpets, they're not soft and buttery. They're like kind of, yeah.
Can you get Old Bay over there?
Yeah, they're here. It's all the stuff's here, man. Old
really?
Bay, all the McCormick stuff, seasonal. Like, dude, it's like if you come here and I take you there, you'll be like, dude, this is America. Once you go into the gates, the streets get wider. They're double lane. It's like inside a base is America. It's America. They just drive. It's America driving on the other side, because you have to honor you got to stay on the Witchcom, but on base you can make a left turn on red. In Japan, outside the base you can't do that. So everything that again, man, you walk. I mean, everything that you have in your market, Giant or Super Fresh or Super Farm or whatever, it's there, man. Every single thing. Yeah, it's
Oh.
not. It's crazy. So so I mean, but then again, man, by not being on base, man, not being able to go to Popeyes, not being able to go to Burger King, like it's just instantly healthier. Not being because you go on base,
Yeah.
and I'm like, dude, all this shit has sugar in it, man. Like everything, and I've
Oh
been
yeah.
for 4 years, like 4 years solid. I haven't bought anything on base. I haven't ate anything on base. And then when I get a bag of like can, I'm like, dude, this is just I threw the shit away, man. I'm like, dude, this is just too sweet, man.
Yeah. So a couple years ago, I tried to go on, I guess, like a low carb or low sugar
Yeah.
diet. I know it doesn't
Yeah.
look
No,
like
you,
it.
no, you
Doesn't
definitely,
look
no, you
like it,
definitely
but
slimmed down, man.
but now I never ever drink regular
Yeah.
soda. I always drink either diet soda or not soda
Right.
at all. And now, like what you're saying, because I've been so used to not having sugar, I can't finish a
Yeah.
regular Coke. Like I'll get maybe a quarter of the way through, and I'm like, oh man, this is too
Yeah.
much. Like I just can't do
You
it.
feel like an adult, man, because it's like I've seriously
Yeah.
thrown like I love Snickers, man. Like the Snickers and on and they sell in the convenience stores off base. Total different, man. They're like they have the Snickers taste, but you get this taste. You don't taste whatever sugar they use is not the same. Then you eat one from on base,
Yeah.
man. It's just like, dude, this is like the same thing, but the nougat or whatever is just totally more sweeter. The caramel is sweeter,
Yeah.
so like everything. The Coke, like they have like the Cokes and everything, and even the Mountain Dew off base in Japan circulation is more healthier than the Mountain Dew. You know, same thing, but everything on base is more fructose or more whatever. So I didn't really, it didn't hit me because again when I got here and I'm like, man, everything tastes like bland as hell. Like when I was going off base, like the juice or whatever. And then I went back to the States in 2015 to get my license, whatever. And I went to Charlie's in our airport and I got what was the pink lemonade, dude. I took one sip and threw the thing in the trash. I'm like, bro, this is pretty much fucking syrup with ice. It's like, like, dude, like I was like, dude, this is like crazy, man. It's crazy how your body, for like if you do something for 2 months, man, your body will get used to not doing bad stuff.
Yeah.
So
for sure.
But man, it's definitely, man. Like once all this stuff blows over, and man, I don't know like what your plans like. Well, one thing, I mean, you said the company's good. How do you guys how is your comp time, or how do you guys get leave, or what do you, military we call it leave, like vacation time or whatever?
We get, it's based on how many years that you've been there. You start out, you only get 5 days of paid vacation for the first like 2 years. So every year you'll get 5 days of vacation, and then after 2 or 3 years you'll get another 5.
Okay.
So the guys that have been there for 20 years, they have like 4 or 5 weeks of vacation that they can take every year. So the longer you go, the more vacation time you'll get. So starting out only 5 days, that's not really good. That's the only benefit. That's the only benefit that isn't that good. But I understand it because we are a factory and we're 3 shifts, so it's around the clock. And if everybody had 2 or 3 weeks of vacation, that's a lot of time that has to be covered by overtime. Because I'm on first shift right now, so if I call off, a guy from third shift has to stay over 4 hours, and then a second shift guy has to come in early for 4 hours to cover me. So if everybody has all this vacation, then that gets really hard to cover, I guess. So I kind of understand it, but it does kind of suck only getting 5 days for the first couple of years.
The reason I bring it up, man, because like I say, is I always extend an offer, man, for guys to come over here, man. All you gotta do is get your plane ticket, but once you arrive here, I got everything. Honestly, I give guys the option because I know some people, no matter how cool we are, like some people just, they want to stay in their own hotel or whatever. They got some other alternative motives they want to accomplish while they're here. And like, all right, cool. But like my house, man, I got a decent sized house where it's like we turned into like we got the guest room and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But hey, man, like if you ever like, you save up enough leave or you want to get over here and visit, man, I got the cars. All you gotta do is get your international license. You pretty much get over here and drive and do whatever you want to do, man. So I always extended out there. Only Alan of Bridge Moto, he came over and stayed at my place, and we went to the track. So like most guys come to visit, I'm like, dude, you come visit me, I can get you on the track. That's what most guys won't around. It's like, even if they're not racing, it's like, dude, I took a car and went on a Japanese track. It's like that's a big bucket list check right there, and I could take you to Tsukuba, Fuji, all the tracks, man. So
I promise, if I ever get the opportunity or the time, dude, I would totally take you up on that offer. And if you come back to America for any reason, you have some time, I want you to thrash the shit out of my car.
So yeah, man, your car is probably one of the most anticipated drifting cars. Like, number one, because you start calling a missile, and then you put the cage in it and everything, and then like you start doing burnouts, and everyone's like, all right, dude, go to drifting now, because it's like they want to see you drift the car and everything, man. So it's just like what? How did that? I mean, was that like a joke, or you just like were you really gonna?
Well, I really wanted to do it. Like, I built the car. It might not be to your spec, but I built the car to drift it.
Man.
Like
that's
that.
all that matters.
So my plan was to drift it, but I guess as life happened, priorities changed, and of course I want to take it out and send it, but it's not a priority right now. Like, I don't need to do it, and I know if I did a video of it, still only 200 people would see it out of my 75,000. But the biggest issue is logistics. Like, I don't live near a track. I think the closest track to me is like 2 hours, which no, I think VIR.
Oh, okay, sorry.
Yeah, VIR I think is the closest one.
No. VR. VR is further. That's like VIR is Virginia, correct?
Summit
Point.
Summit.
Is it? Yeah, Summit, I believe. Well, actually, man, on my geographic stuff, like, so Pennsylvania, Virginia is like, well, Pennsylvania is like Maryland is here. Where's Virginia correlated?
All right, so I'm on Google Maps right now. Summit Point is 2 hours from me. I'm not sure if you can see this. Probably not. You probably can't see that.
Yeah, it's just focusing now.
So I'm straight north of Baltimore. So it's a 2 hour drive to get to Summit Point. And I don't have a truck. And I don't have a trailer. So that's an issue. And I know people say, oh, just run a U-Haul and this and that. Well, then it's still a money issue. Like, I just don't have the money to do that. And I guess if I really tried, I could muster up the money.
No, it's definitely.
But it's not a priority.
Think about it, when in drifting, man, doesn't matter how built your car is, you're gonna break shit, and you see that in Formula Drift. Those cars are $30,000-$40,000 cars, and stuff breaks, man. Like, it doesn't matter. You're doing something that's totally not expected or normal for any car, man. Like, I mean, any sport, any most drag racing, drifting, stuff like that, you're gonna break stuff. And that's one thing I tell my customers here, man. Like, you can put Tomei this, HKS that. If you just drive it around normal, it'll be fine. But like, it doesn't matter. The parts are just a little bit more stronger than OEM, and in some cases actually weaker, because they're making it lightweight. They're cutting shit out of it, and that's why it says in everything off-road use only, everything. Nobody abides by that, but that's just a saving grace, because if that shit comes off, you can't sue them. You know how what that's all about and everything. So, I mean, it's like it's man, it's crazy, man. So it's not like, I mean, I know why you weren't doing it and stuff like that, but most guys are there just egging you on to do it. They just don't know what you got to contend with or what you got to deal with. And the thing about it too, man, it's like it'll be some good content to see your car broken and then trying to get it back home. But I've been at Summit. I broke my first time at Summit. I backed into a mountain, like a hill, and I pushed my exhaust forward, and the welds on the what was it? The wastegate broke off. So it was just like, I couldn't really drive it because if I drove it, it would the gas was, I didn't have good heating and stuff like that, so it would have caught on fire.
Yeah.
So from there, I was like I was at my first event at Summit. I was just like, everybody's packing up, and one Korean guy was like, "Hey man, like, you need a ride?" And dude, like I didn't have any money. I had all my money was just to get to the event and get back. That's it. And so I was like, pretty much, the dude just, I guess he seen my face, and I was kind of like distraught or whatever. He gave me a ride all the way back to Andrews Air Force Base, and I fixed it the next day. But if he didn't give me that ride, dude, I would have had to. I don't know what I would have did, because I didn't have any money for a tow truck. I was about an hour and a half away. Well, actually about 2 hours too. I was away from So it was you get to that situation, and I've been in that situation here in Japan where I've been 10 hours away and I broke my transmission, and I'm like, I drove home without a clutch. Like, I just I took the transmission apart. I took the bearing sleeve shaft out so it wouldn't rattle around, and put it back together, and had to put it in gear, start it up, drove it all the way back, man.
Yeah.
So,
and I do, like, I'll go to a couple parking lots and send it here and there, but one thing I definitely do not want to do, and if I do it, I'm certainly not going to document it, is doing it on the street, because I know the cops around here are crazy, and if they can prove who did it and where you were, they will come after you.
Yeah, YouTube is like their friend, man. It's like, you did that 10 years ago, cool. We still got the plates on that car. You still can, if they want to go after you. I mean, that's like 10 years is a dig. But one of the guys here, one of the infamous drifters, Naoki Nakamura of Team Burst, which is that's another controversial thing, because his new team is called Pink Style. So right now it looks like I came after this guy, even though theirs is a team, man. Mine is a registered company, and also Pinku, mine is a U. So it's I hate even bringing up the topic, but Pinku is like Romanji for pink. So I didn't want to say, I'm glad I didn't. Dude, imagine if I called it Pink Style, it would have been bad, dude. Like, because they would have think I'm copying this guy, even though they know I came first. It's just the fact that he's more popular as a drifter, honestly, than me. And so when I go to events, the guys at the BSU, they'll have his pink, which is just like regular ass text, Pink Style. Mine is like a logo, and they look at me like I'm copying. Like, nah, dude, I run a business, and I had to explain to them. They're like, oh man, well, you couldn't think of another idea. I'm like, dude, trust me, I got with Alexi, I got with my guy, I got with Luke Huxman of does all the videos here. I got with all the guys in the scene that know everybody. And I'm like, dude, is there anybody in Japan that you know of? And they would know of if they knew the person, they would know it. And I was like, anybody in here have anything close to Pinku Style? He was like, nah, mate, nobody. So I got the Facebook shit too. Then after that, my shop launched about a year and a half. Team Burst broke up, and then they formed another group called, because they use pink, so it was like Pink Style. So now he's using more. It's called N Style now. So I'm gonna talk, because nobody's ever approached me about it, and they probably not gonna approach me, because honestly, I'm 235 pounds and I'm 5'11". Then
I was gonna ask you, like, do you find that you intimidate people over there? Like, traditionally, I mean, Japanese people aren't big, and you're a big dude and with a mohawk, and you know how to fight.
Yeah, it does. I mean, it does. One thing is the Japanese, it's changing. And it's cool to be living here and see the culture change. One thing I'll say for all the single guys out there, Japanese guys, they have the lowest birth rates, because the guys not interested in chicks, which means there's a lot of chicks out there without dudes. Take it for how you want to take it, but that's the truth. So if you come here as a single guy, you can have a lot of girl opportunities. The Japanese, they're changing their culture because the social media and everything, they're getting more. They're seeing more. So like, you can go on Witchcom and just download, see stuff. So now the funny thing is, when chicks see me, I know why they're looking at me weird, is because they were on Pornhub looking at BBC or whatever, dude. So it's like, they have a curious face. Like, I'm like, dude, I just like kind of smile or whatever. And eye contact is different here too, because the women and dudes, they don't really do. They just get into handshaking, which they'll probably stop now because you know they will bow because they don't want to touch people. So
yeah,
the whole mask thing, everybody's like that was normal anyway. That was been normal. That's normal Japanese every day. If you're sick, put a mask on. That's normal. So that's why it wasn't a big deal here, and nobody complained about it here. But like they don't do eye contact a lot, and they'll walk around looking at the ground. So you know, Americans, man, even if you're not being aggressive or whatever, you just somebody will like, hey man, hold your head up and walk straight or whatever. Don't look at the ground. You look like you're depressed or whatever. So just the normal walking around, like I'm not looking at people. I'm looking at my surroundings and making sure I'm not going to get hit by a car. And when they see that, man, it just kind of like you'll see a Japanese guy who's a little bit aggressive. As soon as they meet me, they'll kind of like they'll back off or back down or whatever. And I'm not trying to do this stuff like that, but culturally, we're just even the most shy, timid American person is more seen as strong over here because
Now you don't have to talk about this if you don't want to, man. But do you feel like you experience any racism over there?
100%, man. Like this, and it's not well, take that back. Racism as in like the whole black. That doesn't matter. In Japan, if you're not Japanese, you're not Japanese. It doesn't matter what you are. If you're not, and it's so bad that even if you're half Japanese, you're not Japanese. So I got kids. Okay. My kids are half breeds. They call them half breeds. It's not a bad word. They call them half food, half breeds, and everything. So one thing with my kids, man, one of the most saddest statistics here in Japan is suicide by kids. A lot of those kids are bullied. Bullying is really big here in Japan. Really, really big. And from grade school to adulthood, it's all through. So people get bullied and they're going to drinking parties. They don't drink, but they got to drink to conform to companies. Like they do a lot of stuff, man. A lot of cliquish, cultish stuff here, man. So again, Japan is a good country, man. But there's a lot of things, man. I could go on and on about. But yeah, man, I get really irritated really quickly, man, because certain things they do and they just. My wife, when I bring it up to her, she's like, "Oh no, they don't." I'm like, "Yeah, this is the reason why they're doing this, man." Some guys, when they come to do business here, like when I first got 220 volt put in my other shop, I didn't speak Japanese or whatever. So the dudes like walk right by me, dude. Like they didn't acknowledge me at all. They walked straight to my wife. So I walked in front of those guys, like I'll say, "Watashi Shacho," which is I'm the owner. Then he looked at me again, like. And then kind of gave me a little head nod and then looked right and they just stopped. So the whole time I'm talking to them, they're not fucking talking to me. What they were trying to say is, "Oh, you don't need 220 volt for this welder." I'm like, dude, yes the fuck I do, because I paid $1,200 for the Everlast welder. I want to use it at 220 volts. Mm-hmm. So they talking like, "Oh no, you can use 110 because it says 110, 110 220." I'm like, dude, okay. So they were talking shit or whatever. I just left. I went over there. I turned the welder on. I laid a bead for like 2 seconds. Power cut off. Oh, okay, we see now. Yep. So it took me blowing the breaker out in front of them to understand what I was saying. And if I was Japanese, there would be no fucking question. They would put it in there. So they were trying to like tell me like, dude, I'm paying you to fucking do this shit, man. And I wasn't even coming at them like that type of because I'm not that type of customer or whatever. But they were just it wasn't the service. It was just the disrespect, man. And it's big from bank loans to, dude. People don't realize, man, outside of the service I offer, the how difficult it is to do what I'm doing, man. To be a foreigner in Japan, and also the business is 100% in my name. In my name, Donald Jackson on the title. It's that's ultra rare. Every gaijin here or foreigner has it under a buddy's name or a wife's name. So I mean, my wife's cool, but I played it to the point where. If something happens, I'm not like take everything from me. That can't happen. So I didn't put myself in that situation. But yeah, man, it's ultra rare and ultra to the speed that I have extended. Like I've lost a lot of Japanese friends. Some guys when I go to there, they just feel, they were like really friendly before, but now I'm a threat to their business and also just a threat overall because I've come into their country and I run my own shop and they're like 45, 40 years old and they're working at a tire shop. And so I can, they won't say it to me, but I can, I get the thing. So honestly, I don't talk to them. So when I go to their shop to do tires, I used to talk to them before. Now I've dropped the tires off or whatever, and I go sit in a visitor center. I'm not gonna do that to myself, and I know how they feel about me, so I'm just not gonna do that. You know what I'm saying? But overall, man, you asked me one question and I kind of go on forever, man. But yeah, man, any questions you got, it's fine. It's a two-way street. But yeah, man, for back on, because YouTube again is a really big thing. And by the way, man, I'm pretty sure you don't want to do it, but if you want to, you have all my consent to clip this up and do whatever you want to do on yours, man. But because I'm all about cross posting and all that stuff like that. But the YouTube stuff, man, it's for me, again, I only got 5,620 subscribers. I know that because I just looked on there last night. But and that number, dude, and the same thing with Facebook is doing the same thing. My page, I was doing ads. My ads got me to 38,000 followers, and then it just stopped, dude. I haven't. It just stopped at 38. I'm like, dude, why the fuck? I'm not going over 38,000 likes. It's been 2.5, 3 years. It just got to there and stopped.
Yeah.
Like it will not go below. It will not go to. I haven't been to 39. It will not go to 39. It's like they want you to pay $200 a month, and I'm like, I'm paying like $10 here, $5 here. But when I looked at my shit, dude, I did in the last 3 years $580 in ads collectively, and they're like, all right, cool, yeah, $10 ain't getting this money, so you're gonna stay here.
So definitely proof that Facebook throttles too. So this was super bizarre. Last year, Facebook reached out to me. This is at the very end of 2018. They sent me an email saying, hey, we're starting a video program basically to compete with YouTube, and we're looking for content creators to sign on to a 6-month contract with us to help jumpstart this program. And they said, we'll pay you X amount of dollars for every video that you upload, and we'll promote you, like we'll push you down people's throats basically. So I signed up for it, and in 1 month I went from having, I think, 2,000 followers on Facebook to 178,000. Like, they pushed me and blew me up, and then it basically stopped. And so I haven't gotten like any more likes in the past year and a half at all. So they shoved me down people's throats, blew my page up, and then stopped.
And so also, I believe they also take away, because I'm like, dude, I looked at my thing, I'm like, dude, like maybe one of, well, I mean, maybe I'm really aggressive with my posting, so maybe the style that I post is like, I'm showing my work, but also I'm like, hey man, this is what you don't do. Maybe some guys like, oh man, he's a jerk because he's trying to one up people. Like, this business is one upping. You got to get the customers in there to show them. I'm not gonna, when I do your clutch, I'm not gonna put a dirty ass clutch back on there. That's
Sure.
So if one or twos leave on that, but dude, like when I have like 30, 40 people just like dropping off, like dude, that's like 30, 40 people are not dropping off in 2 weeks. And so that, like, you brought it up, and I was like, when you brought it up, I didn't look into it because honestly I didn't care. I was kind of done with the whole thing. And on YouTube, like, people were like, dude, like, I see your videos, but I'm unsubscribing. I'm like, dude, Freddy just fucking said the same shit. That they're unsubscribing people. Yeah. They're unsubscribing people so they don't get the ads. They don't have to pay out because they're tired of making millionaires. Like Adam LZs and the PewDiePies and all those guys. They're like, they made it into that part, and now they're there, and they can't do nothing about it but to pay them. But everybody else is like, nope, sorry. If you're not over 500,000 subscribers or whatever, you're just out. Yeah.
I even get, I'd say every other video that I post, I get comments still to this day all the time of people saying, hey, where have you been? I thought you quit. I haven't seen videos in months or years, or why haven't you posted in so long? And I'm like, dude, I still regularly post. And for whatever reason, all my stuff has been hidden from
Yeah.
these people. Like I had one guy reach out and said he thought I was gone for 2 years. Like he just hasn't seen anything. And then one day one of my videos pops up and he's like, "Holy shit, you're alive." And I'm like, I've been here.
The algorithm is very, very crazy, man. And it's like, you know, you can have, I'm subscribed to people, like a bunch of people. And it's like, you know, on YouTube, if you can be on, you can just type it 2 times and like, hey, I want to like I want to look up teddy bears or whatever. And the next thing you know, man, your whole fucking thing is like, so it changed, your page changed rapidly based on like 2 searches. Then you can go from, I mean, like 1 week I'll get into like looking at martial arts, like jiu-jitsu stuff. Then it'll be like my page will just become, it's like whatever you're searching for or whatever, that's going to be the top trending or whatever. And then but now, I mean, honestly, all I watch is podcasts now, man. I got pretty much the whole Joe Rogan circle, a lot of funny stuff and what else? And that's pretty much like my thing is when I click on it, it's just podcasts. That's all it is. And then like I haven't seen like, I mean, I'm subscribed to you. I click my little bell, and I still don't see like any, unless I click on your page. Like I follow your page, man, and like I'll see the ISF stuff, and I see like the Hachiroku stuff. I gotta physically like click on Poor Man Mods to bring up, because it's like they just, you know, the whole and then like, you know, you got the whole Joe Rogan circle, which everybody connected to him. They all because I mean he's the fucking guy, man, with the podcast. I mean, it's no, you know, and all those guys, they push all their stuff up, their whole circle, man. So I know, you know, the amount of subscribers Joe has, of course they're gonna have meetings with him. They have meetings with him. They say this, say that, don't say this. You notice he don't really talk about. There was one point where he was talking about YouTube, and then it just stopped. Like they was like, yeah, dude, you got too many subscribers to be down on us like that. And then he got dinged for live, and you notice Joe Rogan stopped doing live. You know, he don't do live anymore. Because Joe Rogan got dinged for like having that's why like my cup here is blank. I took off, like I didn't know I read the rules, and I'm like, fuck. I had like parts sitting there, and it was like, yeah, you can't do that. You can't do you know about the whole ad placement and the indirect advertising. They'll ding you for that, man.
Oh yeah, so I shouldn't show the logo on this, I guess.
I mean, well, as long as you don't advertise it and they don't get this far in the video, and they'll like, you know, whatever. But it's all good. But the you know, right now this is episode number 52, which is cool because it's my high school football number, which I'm gonna put a picture up there for that. But
nice.
Yeah, man, it's crazy that I'm at 52, but I was episode 1. And this is polar opposite because I was at my other shop and I just like pressed live and the audio sucked and everything. So, I mean, you know, it is what it is with that stuff, man. But you know, YouTube, it's like I don't get the subs, I don't get the money, but one thing I do get as a result of that, I do get business from it. So I am getting money, but not YouTube money. So right now, my revenue, I think I got maybe like $9.30. Like that's honestly, that's the honest truth, guys out there. I don't lie about it. I'm at 5,000 again, 5,600. I'm like, I'm equivalent to having like 13 subscribers is what my subscriber base look like. You're at 70, you're 76, 78, you said, or roughly.
Yeah, 78, 75.
But still, like you're, even though like, you know, that you're closer to 1 million than I am. You know, so but the thing about it, man, it's like the way you're gonna get to that 1 million is like, dude. And I looked at it, I was about to submit it, and I was like, fuck no, I closed the page. I was gonna do the ads, and you know the ads where they run on other people's videos, and I'm like, dude, I'm not paying. Yeah. I'm not paying. If they don't come organically, I don't want them. I'm not paying. I'm not giving them, and I know what it is. I'm gonna pay them $50, $60. I'm gonna see a spike, and then it's gonna plateau until I go to the next level. And that's why Facebook again, I was doing 20 at the most. Like I would do $20 for 3 days, and then I went from 0 likes, followers or whatever. I got 29,000 followers in like, it was like 3 months. And then it went up, and then like I was doing all the ads and everything to boost the company. So I pretty much been at 38 to 30K for the last 2.5, 3 years. Like it hasn't gone above 40 once, or even there, because they want me to spend $50, and then I guarantee you I'll see that 50, and then it'll plateau. So guys are there. It's not, guys, you got to spend money on the ads and everything, but don't. Honestly, if your product's that good and you're that popular, if you're like Adam LZ or whatever he does, I don't know. I'm just bringing him up as an example. People like what he does, but from what I understand, he ain't out there like, yeah, man, fucking doing backflips and subscribe and all that. He just like posts video and people like the vlogs. So like people want to. What I'm saying in short, man, is don't sell yourself short, and don't be out there begging for people to follow you. If they want to follow you, they're gonna follow you, man. You got your base. You guys helped me get to my 5,000 subscribers by your channel and the toolbox tour, which you want to do again, guys. We talked about it before. We're gonna do an upgraded version of it, and I look forward to doing that, man. So, but
yeah, the last time you did it, you didn't even have a shop.
It was 2000. It was actually right after that. I was thinking about it, and then about December, that's when I signed the contract. So yeah, man, it went for that video. Everything went fast, man. Everything went really fast. So, but still the same guy, man. Nothing changed and nothing. So only thing with the podcast, that's why you notice my channel. It just. I was gonna start new. I was like, why? I already got 5,000, and I'm not gonna go through this shit again. Trying to get the Facebook one has been open for. The Facebook one it's at 998 likes. I'm like, dude, you guys are pathetic, dude. It's been at 998 likes for the last 3 months. It will not go to 1,000 because I haven't paid a single one. So I know as soon as I pay an ad, it's gonna go up and everything. I'm like, I'm not doing it. I'm like, dude, everybody. So all 998 those people, they're just organic. Every last one of them, man. And that's how I want to keep it. I'm not paying. I'm just not doing it anymore, man. So my thing is, what I'm trying to say is, between you guys, Jim, whatever, all I'm concerned about is collaborating, because the collaboration is what makes it, mixing with one person, you're gonna mix with their crew and everything, and it'll make everything go up. So that's the only thing I'm after right now.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sad he did quit YouTube. I'm sad he quit, but Lucas from Lab Japan, he gave me a big burst in the beginning. He did an interview with me like what you're doing right now, and he at the time he was much bigger than I was, so he got my name out there, and I miss talking to that guy. We had a bunch of Skype sessions with him. And
I'll probably get him on, man, because I want to get his story as to why why he did. But then I kind of already know. It's just like everybody. And the thing about it, I'm in Japan with a bunch of other YouTubers, man. But they, people say like I called out Lexi. I just kind of mentioned his name or whatever. So Nariero, he's pretty big out there, and a few other guys, but. They don't it's like and I call it how I see it. I have a YouTube channel. They're more concerned about being a #1 gaijin. That's their whole thing, is they want to be the number one foot. I'm like, dude, I'm not playing that fucking game, man. Like you got this many subscribers. I have a shop. I'm the only fucking American on mainland Japan, only with a performance shop that's standalone. I'm not associated with any other. I'm not riding the coattails or any other famous Japanese drifters. People, I mean, I gotta call your name out there because you know who you are. I don't ride on the coattails of nobody. I'm the only guy standalone, dude. And Super Street won't, they won't, because I'm not a Japanese. They won't do an article or whatever. I'm like, dude, I'm not following all you guys or chasing all you guys. And there's about 15 or so notable gaijin channels here, man. And they all they won't hit me up like, hey man, let's collaborate. They just want to be the #1 guy. So you know what? When they come along, honestly, I've extended all some offers to be on the podcast, and they didn't oh yeah, I'll get to it. Like if you wanted to do it, dude, it took us 5 minutes, and we're here. Like I asked you last week, and we're already here. I'm like, I'm not doing the thing where I'm going to ask people and beg people. I asked one time, I asked you, and if you want to be on it, you'll get back with me. So I got a bunch of guys. I got about 5 or 6 guys. We've started the initial talks that we just like me and you did, and it just says read or seen, And I'm like, all right, well, obviously it's just they seen it, and it's just not. It's not for them, or I don't want to talk to you. Then if it's like that.
Have you ever collaborated with the guy? His YouTube channel is Your Car Bro.
No.
Have you ever heard of him? Because he was in Japan and he was in the military just like you, and I thought maybe you guys would have linked up. He had an
I haven't linked up with anybody, man. Like I say, because the guys who are still here, like I say, they just want to be the number one guy or number one face of it is what it is like that. They just don't want it. They got like the guys are talking about. They got a pretty big following, but they think I want to use them to promote. I'm like, no, I'm not looking to do that, man. Because again, we could take all this stuff away. I run a business. I run a full registered trademark business in Japan, dude. If you want to talk about levels, I'm not trying to be a dick, but I'm like, bro, that's more bigger than a YouTube channel. I mean,
for sure, it's way more permanent.
Let's be honest. So I'm like, dude, I got a shop. We collaborate, like it can go a better thing. But again, I'm not going to beg people. So I'm more happy to talk to you, man, and all the guys who already have my circle. And that's what I'm for the first 100 episodes. I'm just targeting people like directly. Who I've been influenced by, people in my circle and things like that. So I'm not gonna lie, it does bother me. Obviously, you can kind of see I'm irritated right now just by talking about it. But it's like, why it shouldn't be like that. It shouldn't be like that. It should be like just like I hit you up. I mean, we didn't talk in like a while. We just life's been busy, and it goes from not talking almost like in a year or whatever from our last Facebook message, and we doing some like Instagram stuff here and there. But like we go from not talking in a year to like a 2-minute conversation. So I'll do it to 4 days later.
Now we're here.
It's that quick. It don't like, dude, if you don't want to do it, just don't, no, just say no. I say no to people all the time. So I don't like that. That's one thing. So anyway, man, it's 50-second podcast. And that's where my channel is pretty much. I don't want to kill it. So it's a hybrid. So I do mix in like the cappuccino build and stuff. So that's why I just call it Pinku Style TV, because it encompasses everything. It's just I got 5 channels and I don't even go on the other 4. So like I don't want to deal with that and log into there. And I got a music channel, I got a jiu-jitsu channel. I'm like, this is too much. So
I do have a car question for you. Some advice. So I'm thinking about putting a quality limited slip in the Supra. I don't want to have a welded diff anymore. Is there a certain brand of limited slip that you prefer or recommend?
Being at your stateside, I mean, everybody calls it out, and there's Kaz, like Kaz limited slip. They're all LSDs are pretty much expensive. I mean, what I'll do is I'll check and see what's out there. So I mean, honestly, I can pretty much. I mean, 1.5 and 2 ways are all over the place. So I mean, unless you want want a brand new one or just or.
I was looking to do a brand new one. I didn't know if maybe you had an opinion over Kaz or Tomei or Cusco or any of those.
Man, if it's LSD, there's not really any, because everybody thought Kaz is like China or whatever. Kaz is like industry leading now. They all in the magazine. So honestly, man, here's my thing on that. I just got finished installing a bunch of Tomei parts and everything last night or whatever. One thing about those guys, I'm not paying $300 or 300% markup on a part just to say I got an HKS or a Nismo diff or whatever. I run whatever I run to do what I do, man. I don't care about all that stuff. So what I'm saying is get the cheapest one, as long as it's definitely not off eBay. I would say that there's definitely some counterfeits out there, but yeah, man, Kaz works fine. They got don't get the TRD one, because that's like way marked up, just because the Toyota Racing Development one. So yeah, man, honestly anything that's good. And then like the welded, like you're saying, I've had many welded diffs, but like everybody who don't know what a welding diff does, go look at an Engineer Explain and you'll see how it works, but it's not the most.
So I put way more miles on my welded diff than most people probably do. Like I've been driving my Supra on the street like a daily driver, with a welded diff for like 3 or 4 years now,
Yeah.
and it's destroyed tires, it broke an axle, it's taken a toll on the bushings in the
Yeah.
rear. Like, because I made that diff the strong
Yeah.
point, everything else around it
Yeah.
suffers, and I don't want that to
Yeah.
happen anymore.
I mean, if you're gonna daily drive it, I would recommend a. I mean, I'm pretty sure you know about the 1.5 and the 2-way. So the new
Yeah,
diffs, man, they're very sophisticated. Where you can, I know you know about the stuff. I'm kind of talking in general, but for guys that don't know, like a lot of new diffs, they got the clutches in it. So you can turn the clutches pretty much the way you've seen the clutch disc before in the diffs. So pretty much
yeah, yeah,
the way you situate them, they have a manual that says you want this lock, put all the plates this facing this way and all this stuff. So and then like the Nismo one, they have one where you don't have to. You just take a half-inch drive and you stick it inside and you turn it. You just turn it. You just spin it. So as you spin it, there's a lobe, and that lobe it presses against the spring, and the spring it locks it out. So it pretty much turns, and then of course it goes back to zero. Then you kind of so you can go to the track. You can take your axle out, take the axle stub out, this one side of the axle out, stick a long extension in there on the track. You don't gotta take it out the diff. You just keep it inside the diff and everything, and stick that in there, and you can turn it. You can lock it more on the track. That's pretty cool. They got that one, and that one is a little more spendy, of course, because you can just quickly adjust it. What I do honestly here is I have multiple diffs, and I because I don't have the cool Sicky quick change rear end. So so depending on the track I go to, I'll put a 4 3 4 5 3 9 or whatever. So I just carry multiple diffs. Then I'll carry a spare. So honestly, it don't matter what it is, I'll make it happen. But my track is different from drifting at Tsukuba. It's different from drifting at Fuji. So you got to be able to switch around. I mean, that's more advanced stuff. And then like the final drive selection, I didn't get into that till late. So honestly, guys that are new, just drive. Worry about all the engineering shit later when you get your skills up to that point. So man, that's my recommendation in a nutshell. Again, I talked too long.
Right.
Asked a simple question, but it's just whatever out there is a reputable company, and don't spend a ton of money on it, man. Like, you know what I mean? I'll check out. I mean, just for you, man, I'll check when I get time of day. I'll just check and see what's out there, man. Because honestly, they're even used here. They go for $600 used. Yeah, so they're not.
Yeah, I was leaning towards Kaz anyway. I just wanted your opinion on the brands.
They're pretty good. So with that, then like I'm not sure how it is for the MA70 or the JZ70. How like if you take the half shaft stobs or whatever, like they normally come in a kit or something like that, or they just bolt in. So Nissan is difficult because there's so many different. They got the 6 bolt, the 5 bolt, the big 5 bolt. It's so many different things. You got the ABS. So you got a Nissan. You seen that picture on thing where it's just like the ABS done, and it's like the height go from here to up here, and it's like you buy it. Always happens. Guys buy a diff and they get there and they bolt it all in, and then they're like, dude, they didn't test fit the damn half shafts. So now they gotta take all that shit down, put the diff back on to just drive that car because that's the only car. So Nissan's a little bit difficult. Toyota, from what I noticed, they're just standard. You got that. Your car has the Allen bolts, correct? On the half shafts.
I don't remember, to be honest. I know I was looking at a couple of different limited slips for that car, and a lot of them say that they don't work in the factory limited slip pumpkin. Yeah. You have to use an open rear to put it in. I don't know why or what the difference is, but that's all that I've seen. Is Kaz says it'll work in both, but a lot of the other brands say only for an open rear.
I actually, believe it or not, man, I've never serviced or worked on a. I don't know if the MA70 is different than a JZ70. I've never done any. I've never really done any work on the MK3. So I'm not familiar with like how it looks and everything. But the Toyota, like for example, the Chaser, all about the Toyota Chaser and everything. They have the NA. The bodies are the same, but the NA axle and diff are smaller than the turbo ones. Turbo ones are bigger, so nothing bolts up. So like you can bolt the diffs up,
Yeah.
but the stops and the axles, they won't bolt up at all. They're just bigger. Everything is bigger. It's like by a little bit. So like I don't know if the JZA 70 is different than the MA 70. So definitely if you can, man, just let me know like how yours. Because honestly, man, I could probably find you a better deal on it here than like I ship with the shipping now. I ship from my shop to your door. Like there, I could. So if you got it, if you want an engine or whatever, for guys that are, I'm going to plug my business. I got my connections now. Of course, I ship cars, so that's not a problem. And then like now I don't have to go, so we can bypass. I don't do container stuff, because the container I don't have time for that. So you can do direct freight. So I've shipped. I've had engine shipped from Atlanta to here in 4 days, from Atlanta, Georgia, to my shop in 4 days. FedEx Express. So it's spendy, nice. But I can get you an engine from here to your shop in 4 days, 4 days or less.
Nice.
Yeah, man. So it's so it expanded things and everything. Is international shipping has never not been expensive. So I don't know why these new guys are like, hey man, it's too expensive. I'm like, dude, that's international shipping, import tax. You know what I mean? So, and especially now with the I don't know if it's affected you guys. Have you guys because I know you with the can factory, you guys ship out a lot of. So you're just making the cans, or you're filling them with stuff?
My factory just makes them. We take the raw material and make a can, and then we send it to the food companies, and they fill it. You work
around a bunch of machines that can kill you in a snap of a blink of an eye. I'm pretty sure you're right. The lathe,
absolutely.
How was the training for the safety training for that stuff?
We have safety meetings and trainings every day. There's a lot of safety protocols and features in place. Like a lot of the machines have infrared light curtains around them. So if you cross that light curtain, it'll shut off. So there are a lot of safety measures in place, but you can definitely get killed.
Even if it say if it's like a rolling cylinder, even if it shuts off, like does it stop like instantly, or does it still spin?
Well, most of the machines, if you hit that emergency stop, most of them stop, I would say, within half a second. It's most of the machines shut off pretty quick. So only your
hand get crushed, not the whole arm. Yeah.
Yeah, but there's machines that don't have the light curtains, and you can easily get your hand in there and get chewed up.
Shit, that one video, I know you've seen it. I know they probably showed it to you with a guy, like, for whatever the fucking reason, he touched that thing and it just pulled his body all in the thing. He was like probably dead instantly. And like, I'm pretty sure you guys seen that video with the lathes, man. Even the small lathes, they'll fuck you up, man. Like, I got written up last week because I cut myself.
We have to wear Kevlar sleeves over our arms, because one of the things that we do, we have to check the integrity of the weld of the can. So the can that we make gets welded right down the middle, and the way we test that, we cut on each side of the weld and tear the can. And what you want to have happen is just the can tear. You don't want the weld to tear, because the weld is supposed to be twice as thick as the rest of the can. So you're pulling the weld like this, and I wasn't wearing my sleeves all the way up. And I don't know if you can see it.
Yeah.
Right there, I got cut. And it was pretty close to an artery.
I was looking at your vein right there.
Yeah, and I'm used to getting cut and everything, so getting cut to me is no big deal. But when I saw that, my arm was covered in blood, and I went, shit, how am I going to hide this? And, ran over to the first aid station, got some Band-Aids, went to the bathroom, tried wiping all the blood off my arm, and I was like, damn, this is bleeding really good. Got the Band-Aids on, and then pulled my sleeve over, went back to my line and tried to act like nothing happened. And then the blood was coming through the Band-Aids and through that Kevlar sleeve. And I was like, shit. Walked over to get more Band-Aids. And as I was doing that, the supervisor saw all the blood and had to show him, and got written up because I wasn't following safety protocol to a T.
Man, that sucks. I mean, that's like, stuff like that always happens. Because they're like, they're thinking about, man, fuck this guy, man. He could have, It's that's the life, man. The hierarchy and stuff. I'm pretty sure if it's like most things, that paperwork will probably go away in like 6 months or whatever. Or
Well, actually, the paperwork there is pretty serious.
Yeah, because it's the machines, man. Like that's again. I mean, I never worked in a factory like that, but I know I've been around those machines, man. And those things are unforgiving. Like they will chew you up and spit you out and keep going, and like they don't.
A lot of the machines are unbelievably fast, and they have a lot of power. Like you stick your arm in there, and it won't phase it. Like it'll just keep
it's
going.
Like so fast, it looks like it's not moving.
Yeah. I mean, even just the air compressors in our shop, we have 2 100 horsepower air compressors. Like everything is just powerful.
You go back to your garage, like, what the fuck, man, with this 2.3 horsepower shit. Like
yep.
I'm pretty sure I watch how stuff works all the time. So like the fact that you're like working in one of those places, man, like it's very intriguing to me, man. So like far as them, like what is it? I'm pretty sure it's all industrial power. So it's like it's a pneumatic, or is it hydraulic driven or electric motors, or all as far as the machine operations?
Almost every single machine has air hooked up to it for one reason or the other. Everything is powered by 440 volt.
Oh shit!
And some of the machines have hydraulics, but none of it is for actual can making. They use the hydraulics for access. Like if you have to get in this one part of the welder, there'll be a hydraulic arm that lifts up a really heavy piece that you can get in. But none of the actual can making is hydraulic. Most of it is just big electric motors and pneumatics. What we use at the very end of the line after the can is made, we have a tester, and it's a big wheel. It's probably 12 feet in diameter with 48 pockets on it, and a can goes into the pocket, and it pressurizes that pocket with air, and the air spins the wheel at like 600 cans a minute. That thing is spinning, and if it senses any leak at all, I think it can detect up to 6 CFM. If it detects a leak up to 6 CFM, everything just blows my mind. I don't know how it knows, but if it detects 6 CFM of leak, it'll kick the can out. But that testing wheel has to weigh at least 4,000 or 5,000 pounds, and that thing is rotating at, it's got to be 200 or 300 RPM, and like you can just feel it like shaking the ground.
So I'm pretty sure like the bearing has to be swapped out like frequently, probably. Or the bearings, that's like huge bearings. So, but it's like, I mean, because again, it's like I said, I know how you look, because it's like you said, you're still doing mechanical stuff. It's very mechanical. Everything there is mechanical. So then it's like when you go back home, it's like, man, this little fucking bearing or this thing is like, it's like you're going from 440 volt to 120 or 220 volt. It's like it's polar opposites in power and everything and what they can do. And then I'm pretty sure, like you said, so everything is robotic welds. Yeah. Yes.
So the way it's welded is actually really interesting. It's not like your standard MIG or TIG weld. If you look, if anyone that's watching, if you want to see how it works, go on YouTube and type in Sudronic three-piece can welder, and you'll see this welder. It doesn't look like your Lincoln electric welder. It is a giant, complex machine, and it uses copper wire to induct heat via electricity into the can. It doesn't use any filler. So the wire just contacts the can, heats it up, and then it takes some slag and oxidation with it, and then we recycle it. So the copper wire is actually leased. We don't consume it. It's mind-blowing how it all works, and it happens so fast. I wish I could show you inside the factory, because it would blow your freaking mind how a can is made.
And it's like something that's so simple. It's like, and we use it every day. And it's like, whatever. But that's like, because when I first got into welding, I thought it was just, stick welding, MIG welding. Like there's a lot of different weldings, a lot of different types. Like one of the coolest one is when they take the fusion one, is when they They just rub the shit together until it just gets hot as fuck, and it bonds.
Yeah.
So they'll do that. They're friction welding. So they'll do it like you'll just see them, the machine, will really fastly rub it together, and then like you gotta.
Yeah.
It's crazy. So guys are there who want to get into welding, man. YouTube is great for that. There's like the one welding I watched with the when they were doing like when they do like the railroad track the tracks installs and a repair. It's like they I'm pretty sure you've seen it too. They cut a hole in it, and it's like they make like a molten lava, and it just like falls down in there, and like it solidifies.
Yeah,
so it's like it's pretty cool, man. The different types of welding out there. The one thing that that the laser welding, man, that looks cool as hell, man. Like they put it on they put it on Facebook. Oh, you can get this for $39.99. Like, dude, no, the fuck you can't. Yeah,
no, you can't.
So Wish. So you got Wish and all these guys, like, dude, we got away from it, but that like Wish and all these guys, how do they get away with this stuff on Instagram and Facebook, man, and even YouTube now? It's like, dude, this is you're blatantly not gonna get that car garage or that tool machine for $5, and they allow them to post there. I don't understand how they get away with this, man.
I guess it's got to be
blatant spam. It's blatant spam, and everybody that comments, like, if 500 people are saying, dude, I never got my stuff, they should be pulling that right there. But they allow it.
Yeah,
they allow it. And
well, I mean, I guess if it's a Chinese company screwing over an American, how can you?
Yeah.
How do you enforce laws in another country? Like I don't know.
It's, everybody talks shit about Alibaba, man. I use because you can't deny the prices, and if you don't buy it from there, you're buying the same product from another company that just put their laser scribe on it or whatever, and they marked it up.
Yeah.
And I've seen this, dude, between Tomei, I've called them out, man. Greddy, like, even I installed a Greddy intercooler. I just got my hose kit for the Art Skyline, and I got actual British. They're like $2 a piece. Each clamp is $2 a piece for a clamp. They're high pressure. I'm gonna send those out with my kit. Like Greddy, I installed a kit, dude, and like you turn their thing with a screwdriver and it breaks apart. I'm like, dude, they're using the same stuff from China. They just get it, they doll it up, they put the laser engraver on there, and they repackage it.
Yeah.
And the Japanese don't believe me. I'm like, dude, this is not made in Japan. And I put an HKS high power axle back on my IS300, and it rusted out in like a week. A month. Dude,
a month.
It's not. That's the internet. YouTube, all this stuff right there, and people still are gullible. I don't know how. Like, bro, that thing did not cost $30. It cost $2. They buying it from Alibaba, and I told one of my I'm not gonna name the name of the shop, but he's a very reputable shop, very reputable company. Been around for years. And I'm like about to say his damn name by mistake, but I'm like, hey, this part you're selling, I showed him the link, so he know about it, but he don't know like everybody else could see this stuff online. Like, dude, this is not 15 years ago. We could find a source of anything, and I found the sources of clutch companies, which I'm using. I found the sources of multiple things. I made my I don't know if you see me post my hoses. I got my first part sitting downstairs. I gotta pack that up and get those out. So I made my own parts. So now I realize how easy it is to make shit. You just gotta pay the minimum MOQ. So you buy 50, pay the fee for the mold. It's that easy. It's that easy to make shit. So now they're taking something that's 10 cents or whatever, making it, put their laser engraver on it, and repurpose it and sell it to the Japanese market for $35. It's a pretty good profit. But now the Japanese don't. Sorry, I should really read it. Japanese don't look into it like we do. Japanese will just buy it. They just consume it. They will not check. Japanese do not go back and say, "Oh, you got this off there." They just buy it. So they just see Japan. So they just got into like using Siki and stuff like that, and also they just feel if it ain't made in Japan, quote unquote, it ain't Japanese. It ain't good enough. And now they're seeing it. Yeah. So you see more Japanese ordering stuff because of the internet. So now the internet it's making a lot of people money, but it's also screwing people too, I guess. Yeah, that's the truth. I don't know how we got to talk about that, but yeah, man, it's just you're working in that around that place and everything, and you see a bunch of things. So I'm pretty sure you guys ship only domestic or international.
Well, technically international. Most of our cans go to Canada for some reason.
Good for the maple
Uh,
syrup. Now they gonna pick
yeah,
maple.
yeah,
in
we make
cans?
we make maple syrup
shit.
cans. Yeah, it's totally
so
bizarre.
You guys make the labels as well, or just a can?
So the maple syrup cans that we make, they have the label printed on them. It's not a paper label that's glued. It's not a paper label that's glued to the can. It's more of like either like a print or like a vinyl that's on the raw material. So that'll come in as a sheet of steel. Like we get a whole pallet of sheets, individual sheets that'll get cut up into individual cans, but the label is already on that sheet. And so we'll put it in and cut it up and do our normal thing, and the label is already there. I don't know how the hell it stays on. Like it blows my mind how it stays on through the whole process, but we don't make any labeling. It comes on the can, or if it doesn't, then the company that fills the can will glue a paper label onto it.
Yeah, that's pretty.
But yeah, the maple can that we make, each one has like a different recipe of what you can do with maple syrup, and it blows. There's like a million different things you could do with maple syrup. It's hilarious.
I mean, the fact that they put I would think maple syrup seems like something that would come in a plastic bottle or a glass. Like
in Canada, for some reason, it comes in a can, and
it don't. I never thought of I never. It just seemed like the can would. Like I guess degrade the taste, because people all get into like they have like the I think it was the bottle, like canned water is weird, man. Like I've never drunk the water out of a can. It's like that just doesn't it's weird. Man. It's like you associate water with being in a plastic bottle, plastic container. Like so you see stuff that's in different containers, man. It's always weird, man, and it's
different countries are weird. I think in Canada, I'm not sure how Japan is, but in Canada, milk comes in a bag, not in a jug.
Yeah, no, and in Japan,
so
Japan is this is cartons.
Yeah. So America is like a carton or a jug, but in Canada, it comes in a bag.
Well, I mean, I worked in restaurants. I remember, you put them in a machine. They had like the little, you spike the bag with the little thing. So they may have, and this is like for all of Canada, or just like the.
I'm pretty sure all of Canada. Like when you go to a store and you buy a gallon of milk, it's a bag.
A fucking bag. Like dude, that's like some shit they're like just busting away. Like you already got the fucking eggs. That's bad enough. So now you gotta have eggs, and then you gotta worry about puncturing the fucking milk bag. Like, dude. Like,
So if you Google milk bag, what people do, they put the bag of milk in a pitcher.
I can't do it right now. I'm really with it. Fucking that's crazy, man. But it's like it's different how places do different things, man. Japan, dude, like my mom came over here in 2015. Like when now I've been here so long now. When people say Asian countries, it's like dude, what if it's China, Korea? What are you talking about? Because they ain't the same, man. Like the women are different, the dudes are different. Like every like they're Asian. They're just Asian. This is like Asia, but they're all different.
Yeah.
I mean, well, they all eat rice. That's one thing that's common. The Koreans use they all use like the hashi or chopsticks or whatever for the most part. So there's like some similar stuff. They got the little temples. They don't. One thing about Japan is there's not really like there's Christianity here, but they don't push that. They got Jehovah's Witness. They got everything here that you got. They got everything here that you have. But their thing overall is like at the center is like the Buddha stuff. But it's not like they don't push anything. Like one thing, they don't push anything on like, hey, you got to be down with Buddha or we're gonna kill you or whatever. They just like do whatever you want to do. Because back in the day, the whole Christian thing was like when they came over from England or Europe or whatever, and they were like, if they find out you're doing this, they'll kill you. So they used to have this secret like little things or whatever. And I don't know if you watch anime at all, but anime, that's where I learned it from. Like the samurai anime, like they would have to hide the crosses or whatever would be like inside of other stuff. And but that was back in the day. But now they don't give a hell what you do. Like as long as you go to work, and that's all they care about, dude. Japan, they're all about productivity. So when you're not productive in Japan, dude, you're an outcast immediately. Like you're just the lowest. I mean, it don't matter what kind of job you do. McDonald's is not a teenager job here. McDonald's, they're all like, the average age is 35 to 48. The average age, yeah. So the young people who are there, they're only there for like the summertime, or they just got out of high school. So McDonald's is not a McDonald's is like when your sandwich looks like the image. It's like dude, it's fast, man. Like it's polar. When you again, if you come here, man, I'll just take you there for a novelty, and you'll be like, dude, what the fuck is this, like 5-star restaurant? Like, sir, they treat everything like they do, and even if they don't want to do it, they don't complain, because you could tell sometimes when they don't like. I don't want to fucking be here, but it's so much is built into them to not complain. That's just how their culture is. So for the jobs, man, any little job they have, even if you know that smile is fake, they always smiling. They always like, they're not on their fucking phone. They're not like, hey, wait a minute, let me send this shit. Let me take this shit for the gram. They don't know. You don't do that, man. You don't do that. Now there are some jobs here where they're a little bit Americanized. They're laid back. They're lax. But the environment brings it. Like the customers are of that kind. Like you go to a clothing store, they're chill. They're laid back. But you go to a restaurant, they ain't nothing to do. They just sitting there washing like a clean bowl. They just have to be. You got to be mode, because the cameras are there too, and the way they work here. What was your question? Is
it true that in Japan you're not supposed to tip your servers?
110% true. You don't tip. They'll chase you down and give you your money back. Like unless the only people who take tips are, again, there's a lot of Americanized stuff. So again, when you come here, dude, you'll be shocked. Everybody is when they come here, because even I was. You think like you see all of you see all of movies and videos, and you assume what it's going to be like. Samurais, even though samurais ain't run around since like the 1920s or whatever the fuck. Dude, it's like dude, when you go to Tokyo, you feel like you're in New York. It's the same, because Tokyo was actually, they stole it from Times Square, so the same architecture, the same billboards, the same like the buildings looking like a triangle, and the streets and all that stuff, same everything. Yeah. So they took all that from. That's not a Japanese architecture. That's American. They Japanese honestly steal from all cultures. So you got the Indian stuff, you got the American stuff, you got Europe. They're like a melting pot themselves. Their own culture is their own culture, but they do steal from not steal, but everybody steals from everybody. But they borrow from different places, man. So you'll see like the storm drain covers got swastikas on it. But people don't know they're not swastikas. You know the swastikas. You know know about that sign. Yeah. So the people that don't know it.
Hitler did not invent
it. It's kind of like if ISIS would have kept with ISIS instead of switching to ISR, it would have been bad. It would have been bad for the company. So they just got the little swastika logo in it. I didn't know either. I didn't know it actually was a good thing until the SS thing, and they correlated that with that. So you can look, guys who don't know what you're talking about, look up your stuff and everything with that. But yeah, man, it's Japan is cool, man, but I like it enough to live here. I've been here 11 years. But I will tell you, I'll be the first to tell you, because I've been, and I'm like that. I'm like the salty gaijin. We've all been here, and like you're like, man, we'll just leave. Like, nah, we don't want to leave, because I don't want to, I do nothing against America, man, but I went back for 4 days, and I was like, dude, I gotta get out of here, dude. Like I just, once you stay over here for a little bit, it's I don't know, man. It's just but yeah, dude. What I was saying, like, man, I just remember what I was saying too about coming over here. They're trying to increase tourism. So plane tickets were average about $980 round trip. I got my mom over here. She only had one delay and one transfer. Plane ticket was about $980 back in like 2015. So now with the Olympics, Olympics got canceled, so they were expecting that big like the spike, and that's why they hit the Corona stuff, because they were trying to get the Olympics to keep going, because they lost a lot of money. They built that arena, now nobody's going to do anything in it, so they lost a shit ton of money. But they're trying to get travel, so plane tickets should go around about $600 to $700. And that's a round trip, man. And honestly, for the duration, it's up to how long you can stay, because you can stay up to 90 days on a visa before you have to like leave and come back and everything. So,
well, if there's any can factories in Japan,
well, they definitely here, man. They're definitely here, man. But you don't want to work for a Japanese company, man. Trust me. Like, dude, it's like it's as close to organized slavery as you can get every day, man. Like they do not care about your life. They don't. It's a sad thing, man, but they don't care. Like if you're pregnant or even thinking about being pregnant, you can't get hired places. You can't date. It's forbidden. If they find out that you're dating or doing anything, they find out that you guys are talking online, talking on like a application, they'll fire both of you. Because just the idea of you guys hooking up and getting pregnant, and then now she's gone and whatever, and they don't want to pay for pregnancies. They don't want to. It's like, so again, why it's such a good country. There's a lot of shitty stuff, man, that makes people not want to do things or whatever. Travel is one. The toll road is expensive from between my shop in Tokyo. It's $135 one way for tolls. One way. Yeah, man.
Wow.
So that's from here to Tokyo, and if you drive further, you're gonna pay more. So that's you're paying $200 both ways in tolls plus fuel. So they don't promote traveling. They Japanese, 2 hours to them is like an eternity for driving and everything, man. Yeah.
Wow,
yeah,
that's crazy.
When we drive, we would drive from damn Baltimore to Pennsylvania every weekend. It's the race, and that's about 3.5 hour drive, something like that. Well, I don't know.
Depending on
that particular.
Baltimore, from me to Baltimore, it's roughly an hour.
I'm exaggerating. Maybe I'm thinking about Jersey or New York. Jersey and New York is about an hour and a half, 2 hours, or something like that. Yeah,
if you're trying to get to Jersey or Philadelphia from Baltimore, you're talking 2 or 3 hours for sure.
Tunnels, man. So they got but we used to go every week, man. I'm like, dude, I drive from Misawa to Tokyo and back in one day. They like, dude, how you? I'm like, dude, I watch podcasts, I watch your videos, I put the thing in my truck. And just two Joe Rogan podcasts, I'm already 6 hours up. You know what I mean? So it's like, yeah, dude. And I don't watch my own though. I watch for editing, and then I don't know if you're like that with your videos.
I only watch mine for resources. Like if I need to remember if I did something or if I need to help someone out, I'll watch it. But I don't watch mine for entertainment.
It's like this kind of awkward, ain't it, man? Like you're just, because number one, by the time you edit it, you've already seen it so much. It's like, all right. So I do when I do the podcast, I don't watch them, but for the premieres, I do have it. I have it open, so just in case somebody like, the chatting is starting to pick up where people ask questions, and they also they mistake premiere for live. So what I do now, like I announce jurors, so everybody knows you're gonna be on it. But what I don't do is after we get done, I usually take a picture and put it up there, because what happened now, it's like I'm not getting a lot of traffic, so it will be your picture. And then it would be like right above that, it'll be another one saying the actual, so people would get confused. So now I just put the picture up there when it premieres. So when it actually premieres, once it's processing for premiere, I'll take the screenshot and then put that up there, and then people see, it's going to come out in 3 hours. So that's what I do now and everything. So it works out good. It just, figuring out the system. I have, even though I only get 200 views here and there, and it says the 28 days or whatever, I average about 6,000 views per 28 days, which again, man, we know the numbers out there, the other channels, and I'm like, 6,000 views is what those guys get in the first 2 hours when they drop a video, and I'm like, fuck, man, that must be nice, man. So
Well, I'll be sure to share this
I mean,
when
and same thing, man. I actually, it sounds like I'm rapping. I actually look at the clock. I do got it's like 9:24 here. I got a guy coming in, man. We'll definitely. I mean, we just talking, man. Like I used to. The format was like, hey, man. So how was it when you were a kid? And people like they just want to see. They don't come out naturally while we're talking, and versus like doing. Because I used to start out with, like, hey, man, talking about yourself. I'm like, dude, you can read about how that's somewhere else. So I kind of now I just jump right in. If you notice, man, we just jump right in and start talking, because people want to hear conversations. And I gotta work on stop talking so much myself. But it's man, you got any questions or anything for me, man? Or yeah.
Not anything that I can think of now, brother.
Dude, like yourself and honestly, I don't care about repeat people, because it's just nice to. I like these better than talking about myself. So this is by my
You definitely need to get James Felix on here for sure.
Goddamn, I had a shirt on the Felix performance, so he's gonna get on here, because I'm gonna take the whole section where we talk about him and link him to that. That's a new feature I do, like the copy URL, right click and copy from the exact moment, so you can just. So it's YouTube got some stuff going on, man. So some of the features ain't all bad, but some of the stuff is like, dude, just leave it alone. Like, again, I'm not liking the help us help you with the. It's just like getting lazy. Like it seemed like you noticed they came out right when Corona hit, right? Because they were saying they don't have time to review like all the stuff. So it's like it's just you see, we've been in the YouTube game long enough to see how stuff is going to affect things and stuff like that. So the Corona definitely says, like, I guess because COVID, any processing and stuff like that's going to take longer or whatever. So it is what it is,
I'm ready for it to be over.
Dude, man,
all the COVID.
You know, it's not even. I talked about it so much, man. Everybody else talked about it, and then I put it in my title, never again, because it got limited immediately. Because I guess if you put if you got anything about COVID, anything on there, you automatically actually some of them are not being monetized, because people are spewing like, you can go ahead and put like 2 quarts of bleach in you and you'll be good or whatever. So like so like people are just like so I don't know if they list, they can I'm pretty sure they got the technology to scan your data, and when you say COVID or whatever, maybe they'll be like, oh, you're talking about it limited. So I don't know, whatever, I don't. But I just know I put a picture of a Corona, and I put COVID a Corona, and that was just like, fuck no, get out of here, man. So in the thumbnail it says Corona party. So it's like, yeah, dude. So
hell yeah.
I was like maybe limit. Next day I turned on limited, like fuck. So that was like a 3-hour podcast, man. So yeah,
damn.
But yeah, man, we'll definitely do this more. I'll offline. I'll get with you about the probably like actually after I get off here, I gotta open up a shop, and then I'll send you an email and everything, or just whatever about the toolbox stuff, and then I'll start shooting that. I got another camera.
Sure.
Outside of this, the camera that we shoot from right now, that you actually, you won't see the image you're looking at is just a web camera. So the actual image is like a higher quality. So I that camera I used for the last 5 years is retired, man. It's my image capture. So it just sits on the wall right there, mounted, fixed. I got the 110 volt power just plugged into it. So it's retired, man. So I got another one and everything. So
good.
But yeah, man, again, I didn't quit on YouTube. I didn't go nowhere. I'll try to get the other guys. I want to get everybody in our little group that we started on that's not even used anymore.
Yes.
The alliance, auto alliance that was, so
yeah.
I want to get all those guys on there and just talk about just catch up and do all that stuff, man. So just want to utilize the technology,
absolutely,
not stay so distant, man. So again, brother, man, thanks for stopping in. I'll drop all of your X guys, where can they follow you at? So you're on Instagram and Facebook and all that stuff, Parman Barts.
Yep.
So
Yep. Instagram, YouTube.
Yeah. So
all
I'll
that.
Put all that stuff at the bottom for you guys to see, and you guys be able to click on it. He's much more popular channel than mine by the numbers and everything. But again, man, it's like the same. It's kind of refreshing for me to hear like that your channels, even at your numbers, it doesn't matter about. So even if you get at 50K or 70K, they're still gonna find a way to level you out. until you start paying them money.
Yeah.
That's the name of the game, man. So Instagram, Facebook, Twitter,
Pretty
it ain't
much.
free, buddies. It ain't free. It ain't, you think people think it's
Nothing's
free.
free.
Yeah, you sign up for free, but it ain't free to push your business. So it's free to be a member and be one of the numbers, but it ain't free for us guys, content creators and businesses. It ain't free for us. So it is what it is, man. But again, thanks, man, for doing this, man. I almost,
man.
like, I'm surprised. I'm like, I was dead tired and everything. So thanks for thanks for waiting an extra hour because I was fucked.
Oh, dude.
And everything. Yeah.
No problem. Thanks for having me. And you need your sleep, so don't apologize for that. Yeah, it's all good.
That was a nap, man. So all right, guys, I'm gonna get out of here. So again, it's gonna be Mike, man. Oh, I want to say Freddy English, man. I'm not used to calling you Mike Frederick, man. So it's gonna be Mike Frederick, aka Freddy English, signing out from Pennsylvania, and I'm Donald Jackson signing off from Asao Japan Pinku Style Podcast Studio. Be sure to send your questions to podcast Pinku Style if you have any questions. To date, this is episode 52. I've only got like 4 questions, so obviously that means you don't have any questions for me. I'm not going to make up any. And I'll be like, yeah, you guys, some guys out there wanted to see, like, no, I'm not going to lie like that. So ask me questions, guys out there. I'll answer them truthfully, honestly. It doesn't matter what it is. There's no limits here. I don't want to, I'm not a rated R channel, but I don't, I'll talk about whatever I want to talk about. So don't be afraid to send questions or whatever. I will tell you that Japanese women's private parts are not sideways. It's the regular way up and down. So, so that's right at the end. So if I open up the podcast with that, then I'll definitely get limited because they'll probably So that's at the end. So cool, guys. I want to start this over again. So again, thanks, man, for tuning in. Thank you guys for tuning in. And if you wanted to subscribe, like, and all that share stuff, cool. If you don't, great. You spend an hour of your life listening to us for no reason. See you guys later. Donald signing out. Peace.
See you guys. Thank you.